the pleas from people who work for Major League Baseball to self-isolate, and that's something that they're going to follow up on. From what I've been told, he essentially told them to bug off.
Buster on Greeny with Mike Greenberg. Patriot receiver Julian Edelman had a precautionary standard knee procedure today. It's expected to keep him out for some period of time, reports ESPN's Adam Schefter. That includes Sunday's critical game against the Bills. Edelman has been limited all season by that knee.
We're back on Friday. We finally get a glimpse inside the mind of Zubin as he gets to talk to someone he thinks is more interesting than Derek Jeter. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin, Friday, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN News.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar Levine Studios.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
3rd down and 7 with Charcot out there for Jacksonville. Minshew's taking a deep shot for Chris Conley in the end zone. Conley runs it down, and he's got it for a touchdown. What a throw by Minshew. He drops it in the bucket, and the Jaguars are back on top.
That was a beautiful throw indeed by Gardner Minshew. It hasn't been a lot that has gone right for the young quarterback in the last month or so, but he's made some tremendous throws, like that one to Conley. I thought he had a tremendous throw to DJ Chark a couple of weeks ago, and even to Cole on a broken play. Just a couple of plays that I thought he really shined, but you don't really get to talk about in losses, and some of the other players overshadowed it. And now we learned today that he's been dealing with an injury. And the injury is significant. Mm-hmm. The injury is so significant, you wonder if he'll need any kind of procedures. You wonder if he'll be able to come back after the bye week and play. And you wonder just how much this has been impacting him. There's a lot to unpack with the Gardner Minshew news that Adam Schefter first reported, and we can confirm all that is accurate. What we don't know is where do they go from here, because nobody's talking this week, and they don't have to because it's a bye week, and they don't really have to know anything until probably next Wednesday or so what they're going to do at practice. But we get to explore all those things. And also, if they do need to go to somebody else, will it be Mike Glennon, which it likely will because he's been the backup QB, dressed, or would they experiment with Jake Luton? So many people would like to see that instead, see what you have in the 6th-round pick. But I don't think you're going to get your wish on that, at least in the interim. Kind of a stunner today with the news of Gardner Minshew, wasn't it?
A big-time stunner, because as someone who has broken their thumb and broken their hand before, just in one spot, I know how painful that is. So the fact that he's got multiple fractures in his throwing hand, mind you, it makes it hard to believe he was even able to grip a football in the first place, and I'm not sure how he dealt with the swelling and all that stuff, but anytime you break something, obviously that's a serious thing, but in your throwing hand, I can't imagine what his hand looks like right now.
Yeah, and he obviously didn't report this to the team until after the loss the other day. So whether it was because it was the bye week, whether it was just bothering him too much at that point, I'm trying to get to his mentality, and I think it's pretty simplistic. He's got a 16-game season.
Yeah,
you're not going to sit out. You got to fight through stuff, and you don't want to give that job up. It's your job. And so we know how that works. And that works a lot in the NFL. Whether you got dinged up and with a concussion and you don't want to come off the field, and that's why they've set new protocols, or if you have an injury and you play through it, because guys play through injuries. But when you have an injury to your throwing hand, and the x-rays showed multiple fractures and a strained ligament in his right thumb. Multiple fractures to his right thumb, which is where you grip the football, right? I mean, that's a big part of it. And if you really go back to 2 weeks ago, see, I didn't think Minshew played that bad the other day. I know everything still looks off, but I didn't think he was super inaccurate. There were a couple throws to DJ Chark later in the game that were off the mark. But if really the previous week against the Lions, where he was, these are throws that, this is what's good about Minshew. This is a quality that is very good about Minshew, is his accuracy in the short passing game. And he was missing guys by a foot or a yard throwing behind receivers. That was where he looked really off. According to Schefter, he first started to experience the pain against Houston. So now he's played a few games with this. And he just didn't tell the team, and the Jaguars didn't know about it. So my guess is, from a visual standpoint, it was nothing that was super alarming. You noticed that he moved his shoulder around a lot in that game the other day. But he didn't. I never saw him flexing his hand or his thumb or anything like that. So how broken it is, who knows?
Well,
Can he play?
It's fractured.
Well,
he
you
has
can have a
fractures.
hairline fracture. And that's what we don't know is that. I mean, can you really listen? The guy's a tough guy.
Sure.
I don't want to give him credit here, but I mean, if it's really fractured, can you really play for the last 2 weeks in an NFL game without it being noticeable? The coaching staff knowing, trainers knowing, and you being able to deal with that. I mean, listen, it's one thing if you have an injury, you know this. If you got to shoot something up, you shoot something up, but somebody would know about it.
Yeah.
So he did something here that nobody really knew about. Was it just discomfort, and then you go in and check it out? Or maybe he aggravated it even more Sunday on one of the throws, one of the sacks, one of the whatevers. So we just don't know, and we're not going to hear from Minshew until next week about it. So it's going to be very difficult. It's going to be a lot of speculation on the Minshew injury.
So, I mean, listen, I'm not a doctor. All I know is that if you break your thumb or you break your hand, you're going to have significant swelling. So which leads me to believe, listen, even if this happened during what game was it? The Houston game? Yeah, so he's had this for a while, apparently. And the fact that, I mean, listen, if he truly had a full fracture, I think somebody would notice it, right? Like a team doctor would see it. And now I'm not sure if he's been getting treatment on this thing or not. Regardless of that, though, I think if it's a full line, clean fracture, that thing is going to be like a balloon. I mean, that's what happens when you break a bone. So it could be a good sign, the fact that maybe it's a couple cracks here or there. But you hear the word fracture in your throwing hand, and that's never good. So, like you said, it's going to be curious to see exactly how they handle the situation, what the plans are going to be going forward, and really, did he do himself a disservice by not, bring it to the table earlier, kind of maybe getting ahead of it a little bit, maybe sitting out maybe 1, 2, or 3 weeks, healing it, and then coming back. You have to ask the question: did he do himself a disservice now?
I think that's a fantastic question. Let's start there. You brought it up. Did he? Did being a tough guy is an admirable thing in the NFL. I always thought that one of the great things, it's an important thing in the NFL too, in the locker room, as you know.
Oh, you have to be. Listen, if someone's in that locker room is 100%, they're not playing football. Simple as that.
And I always thought this is one of the things that I really believe Blake Bortles, his teammates were a fan of. They had a lot of respect for how tough he was. There was a lot of deficiencies with Blake. There are a lot of things that you could roll your eyes at with Blake. I think there are two things that were really admirable about Blake. One was his physical toughness, the stuff he played through, and he played through a lot. If you go back a couple years ago, I think it was 18 maybe, that he played through a bunch. I remember he had the wrist stuff that he ended up getting surgery on after the season, and he had played with that most of the year. And then I think also the bullets that he takes from everybody on the outside, I think people respect that because he wasn't blaming anybody, even though he was kind of the punching bag for the entire franchise and team. And I think people respect that stuff. Minshew's been very good at that. He is not blaming anybody. He's taking accountability. That's what quarterbacks do, and he's done a good job of that. I don't know if there's been illustrations of how tough Minshew is, although last year he played through some things as well, and he was pretty beat up by the end of the year. And that was one of the reasons he worked on his body in the offseason. He said, I got to get through 16 games. I think that's also one of the reasons you saw him earlier on. He was sliding early this year when he was running around. He wasn't going to get an extra 2 or 3 yards very often. He knew that this year was his year, and stay healthy and don't get beat up in the course of a 16-game season, at least in the first month. So I think I say that in a smart way, not a lack of toughness way. So it is top of mind for even the quarterbacks to be tough, play through things, play through pain, and show that I got this. I know you guys are hurting too, so am I, but who cares? Let's go play.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, teammates rally around that. A lot of guys in that locker room, not just the quarterback, not just the storied position, do that on a yearly basis. So, yeah, I mean, it's like a rite of passage. When you get an injury, you got to do everything in your power to try to fight through that as much as possible. And then when it gets to the point where you can't handle it anymore, hey, you go on IR, and it is what it is. But I've said before, I mean, IR is one of the worst places you could ever be, right? Like, yeah, you're collecting a paycheck, but you're essentially not even part of the team anymore. You're like off doing your own thing, and it's not a really cool feeling. So, yeah, I mean, I think this is going to garner some respect, obviously, for Gardner Minshew. This is obviously a guy who, like you said, Brent, is out in his audition right now, and he can't afford to come out, if you will. And let's be honest, regardless of what happens from this now, and they have a bye week, so we'll see, but regardless of what happens, whether he comes back right away or if he sits out, unfortunately, the way the league works is it's not an excuse. Right now, I mean, listen, I'd be the first one to say if I was a quarterback, hey, I'm having a bad year because I have a broken hand.
Yeah.
What more do you want from me? Like, can I get a fair shake? Unfortunately, it's not how it works in this business, man. This is a performance-based business, and that comes first. And unfortunately, whether you break your hand or not, man, if you don't have the record to back it up, they're probably going to go in a different direction.
Well, so I guess to answer that question, then, see, I would say if I were Gardner Minshew, I'd try to play through it too.
Sure.
I'm not giving anybody a crack in the window. I'm not giving them an opportunity. I'm not giving Mike Glennon a chance to come out there and play 2 games and play well. I'm not giving him a chance to go to somebody else. But in hindsight, if it really was bothering him, and we just don't know the degree of it. I mean, listen, Gardner could be struggling too. Mm-hmm. But on top of that, if you have these injuries and you're playing through them, while it's not an excuse, it's still reality. And in hindsight, you'd say, hey, man, sit out a game or two if you're not. There's a point in every player where you ask yourself, okay, am I hurting the team if I play and try to tough it out? Mm-hmm. Right? And we just don't know that threshold and where it was. And it doesn't sound like the Jaguars did either. So, but that you figure they would ask, hey, are you all right? Are you feeling okay?
Yeah.
Like, is everything okay?
Yeah.
And especially, again, some of the throws he's made the last couple of weeks, there were some people I know now that are saying, they speculated, hey, is he kind of hiding an injury a little bit? Is there something bothering him? I never wondered that, if I'm being honest. That never came to mind, that he might be hiding an injury, other than the fact that he was moving his shoulder a lot.
Yeah.
But this doesn't seem to be a shoulder injury. This is more with the hand and the thumb. I don't know. I see why he didn't, but in hindsight, it might have been better to sit a week or two, get well, even coming out of the bye, and then almost have people begging for you to come back.
Well, listen, and it's like you said, hindsight is 20/20. Now, depending how bad this fracture is, maybe he could have sat out a couple weeks. He could have reported it right away, sat out for 2 or 3 weeks, and all of a sudden you're coming back now against a hard part of the schedule. And if you do your thing, who knows what happens, right? I mean, that's all in the future, and it doesn't really matter now, does it? But my point is, if I'm Gardner Minshew, I would do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you got to take care of you first. I understand. This is the ultimate team game, all the cliche stuff, and I get that. But at the end of the day, this is your year, man. And this is your year to show what you can do. And if you can't do it, what's been expected of you, I guess, what you kind of built yourself up for, unfortunately, they probably go in a new direction. So I don't blame Minshew at all. I don't think he was selfish. I think this was a guy who, obviously, the game of football is super important to him, and he's trying to do everything in his power to maintain his job.
Yeah, and listen, here's the thing. I think you're right about that. I also don't think the injury, in my opinion, takes away from some of his poor play. I think he was struggling a little bit. I think he has been. This whole football team's been struggling a bit. I don't even know if the numbers look as poor as the eye test at times of what's been going on. And there's a disconnect between receivers and the quarterback right now. But there's no doubt you have to wonder if this factored in. And if it did, I get what he was doing too. Like, again, I don't knock him for that. I just now, in hindsight, wonder if that really hampered him having some success, because in the last couple of weeks, the tide has really changed against Gardner Minshew. This guy is someone that we all put our arms around. We want to see succeed. We know this year's about him, but we also saw a harsh reality in the last few weeks that, hey, this isn't getting it done. I mean, it really doesn't look like, unless there's some, we asked the question after last week's game, can he still rescue this? And the answer is yes, he could with 10 games to go, because we remember what happened most recently. Like, if he plays unbelievable football the last 6 weeks of the year, we remember that more than we remember bad football the first 6 weeks of the year.
Sure.
So there is still that chance. But in reality, this could have hampered him a little bit. I don't know what this injury means. I can't find out, and nobody's saying that I've talked to if they know if there's procedure that will take place, if he'll be able to go next week. Gut feeling, seeing what we've seen, do you think coming out of the bye week he plays against Houston on November 8th here in Jacksonville?
Gut feeling. Listen, I think if he has his choice, He's going to want to play, obviously, because it's going to mean that much to him. I think now that the coaches understand what's going on and that training staff and that medical staff who I've worked with personally when I played, some of those guys in there, I know how they kind of operate. I think anytime you're talking about a fracture on your throwing hand and you're a quarterback, depending how bad it is, once again, and we don't know that information. We're not privileged with that information right now. I could see him sitting out a couple weeks. I mean, isn't it kind of hard to justify if you're a medical staff to say, oh, you got a broken hand, go out there and play quarterback? I don't know. That's just me, I guess, but.
Well, yeah, first of all, they'll have the luxury of seeing things, how bad the x-ray is. They'll have the knowledge of that. What can you do? Does it get better? Does swelling go down if there is even swelling? Whatever the case. I mean, I wonder actually if the ligament is a bigger deal than actually the fracture, because I've actually done that before. In ligament in my thumb, that thing was painful, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's more of a rest deal. Well, I would assume the fracture's a rest thing as well, kind of keep it in place. But I think it goes hand in hand.
Well, and the
no
fracture,
play on words there intended.
Yeah.
But I wonder, you don't know, right? Yeah. If the ligament has more damage than actually this hairline fracture, the ligament could be a bigger deal, yet the headline is more fracture.
True. And like with the fracture, though, like usually you wear a cast, right? Like that's the whole point of it. We see it happen in football all the time. Well, you're not going to put a cast on your throwing hand. Like it just doesn't work like that, because then that affects how you grip the ball. So I'm not sure how they're going to handle this. We'll just have to kind of wait back and see how severe this injury is, and the Jaguars have to assess from there and go from there.
Yeah, it reminds me, the first thing I thought of with the thumb was actually Brady in the 2017 AFC Championship game. Remember the week before he cut his thumb like really badly, and now since then you've seen like reports of somebody had a book out, right, or something about the Brady thumb, and it was like
they were so secretive about it, which is shocking for New England.
I know, right?
Crazy.
Who would have thought? Color me shocked.
In hindsight, that wasn't like this phony thing. I thought the Patriots that week, I remember reporting from Foxborough and being like,
we were in that press conference room.
Yeah,
and it was interesting.
But in hindsight, looking back at like the book that was written on it and all the little excerpts from it, it was like legit. Like people were like, "How is he going to play?
How did he cut it?"
I don't remember that. I don't remember. He hit it on
it was
helmet.
on a teammate's helmet on a follow-through of a throwing motion.
It was in practice, and it was like split wide open.
Okay, that I can allow, Tom. Like I can't allow you like cutting some butter or something like that, and you slice your hand.
It was avocado. If anything.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a little tricky. That's a little tricky then. Yeah.
He probably has a only hired avocado cutter for the
amount for sure, man. Are you kidding me? When you're married to a Victoria's Secret fashion model, you got people that cut avocados for you.
I was gonna say, by the way, like who in that relationship actually cuts the avocados?
Nobody, man. No one's cutting avocados.
The kids. Make the kids do
it. Bring over the grandparents. But it's. So obviously this is a day that you just don't know what he has. Like even if we had a doctor on, right? If we had a trainer, they don't know without seeing the x-ray. They don't know how bad. Of course, he's played through it apparently in the last couple of weeks. So it's not like he can't play. It's a matter of, can you play at a high level? Can we trust you to make these throws? Can you trust yourself to make these throws? And then the bigger question is, if he can't go, who do you go to?
Well, and then that's the big question. Right, because let's be honest here. There's two scenarios. And depending on who they put in, kind of shows you, I think, where this team is at right now.
All right, hold that thought. Let's go to break. When we come back, we'll talk about it. Luton, Glennon, could they be in the mix? And that's a could, and it's a big asterisk right now. This is a if necessary, because no doubt, see, in my opinion, this is Gardner Minshew's season. This isn't like, hey, we might. I know Doug kind of opened the door, and there was a report about it a little bit last week. Not in my opinion. I mean, he would really have to be playing so bad that you just got to take him out. But I don't think they're there yet, and I think this is his season. That's the way they presented this, I believe, to Shad Khan, and that's what you've got to deliver. It's not to say the other guys can't get in, but if this injury hampers him to the point where he can't play against Houston, which direction do the Jaguars go? What makes the most sense at this point? Let's discuss it when we come back. 904-362-9901 if you want to jump in. *690 or on the social media channels, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. We'll be right back on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Breezy and hot today. Record high temperatures near 90 degrees under partly sunny skies, some scattered late day and evening showers, and perhaps a thunderstorm. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 at Fox 30 Action News Jax from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. It's Beard's Diamonds 40th anniversary sale. Save up to 40% off store-wide till November 30th. It's a sale so big, it's been 4 decades in the making. It's Beard's Diamonds' incredible 40th anniversary sale.
Everything store-wide is on sale. Up to an unbelievable 40% off. Yes, 40% off.
Believe it. All GIA certified loose diamonds, all designer settings, pendants, engagement rings. Everything store-wide is on sale. Up to 40% off.
Going on now until November 30th.
Nobody beats Beard's Diamonds prices.
If you're popping the question soon, celebrating a big anniversary, or even shopping early for the holidays.
Now you can go even bigger and save thousands.
Believe it. Shop the largest inventory in North Florida at never-seen savings. Everything store-wide is on sale, up to 40% off.
During Beard's Diamonds 40th anniversary sale. But hurry, these savings end November 30th.
Beard's Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center.
Or at beardsdiamonds.com.
What can you get done in 10 minutes? Run a mile? Maybe. Find a date online for this Friday? Easy. What about listing your home for sale? In 10 minutes? Can't be possible. With the new Instant List tool from Rex, it is. Rex Instant List allows you to value and list your home with an agent in as little as 10 minutes. With the real estate market getting hotter, time is money. Let's get started. Visit sellwithrex.com. Rex listing agent fees start at just 2%, saving sellers over $23 million in fees since 2015 with absolutely no sacrifice on service. Have 10 minutes to spare? Visit sellwithrex.com to get started or speak to a Rex agent at 833-739-4663. That's 833-739-4663. That's 833-739-4663.
Number Florida, CQ 1057788. Minimum fee may apply. Rex fully supports the principles of the Fair Housing Act and Equal Opportunity Act.
It's late at night. Someone enters your home, but you don't know because a cheap piece of electronics failed. Would you ever forgive yourself if a family member was hurt because you chose to trust a do-it-yourself home security system with third-party monitoring? That's why thousands of customers choose SafeTouch Security every day. Your SafeTouch system starts out with a custom design to fit your exclusive needs and is carefully installed by SafeTouch's professionally trained and licensed installers using only SafeTouch professional-grade UL-approved encryption technology, monitored by SafeTouch's UL Monitoring Center featuring the exclusive SafeTouch two-way communicator, providing the fastest possible emergency response, and backed up by the SafeTouch halo of detection and SafeTouch crash and smash technology, all wrapped up in the SafeTouch guaranteed response time. Don't take a chance. Call now and get SafeTouch's exclusive offer of free equipment with a SafeTouch monitoring agreement. Go to safetouch.com right now for more information. SafeTouch, doing what others can't for over 35 years. Offer to homeowners with approved credit standard installation monitoring agreement required. Terms and conditions may apply. EF 0000233 LVA 004188.
This is Chris Chambliss, Clay County Supervisor of Elections, with an important elections announcement. As a registered voter, you've made it to the big leagues, and this is your civic Super Bowl. With early voting taking place soon, there is no excuse to not get in the game. For more information on early voting locations or wait times, visit northfloridavotes.com. That's northfloridavotes.com.
Nathan here from Gordon Chevy in Orange Park, your Silverado headquarters. We've got over 50 Silverados in stock and ready to go. And during Truck Month, take up to $7,000 off a new Silverado, plus get a $1,000 accessory allowance to customize your new truck. At Gordon Chevy, you'll find a huge selection of new Chevys, no bull pricing, and we always do our best to get you out in your new car in about an hour. Find us 5 miles south of the Orange Park Mall on the money-saving end of Blanding Boulevard or online at gordonchevy.com. Chevy, find new roads.
Now this is a stimulus package. You could be driving away in a new Ford F-150 or a Lincoln Aviator from Bozard Ford Lincoln. Watch for the word of the day between 6:30 and 7 during Action News Jax this morning. Text 46757 and you could qualify to win. Plus, every day we're giving away 2 $100 gift cards to the new Ford's Garage Restaurant, located outside Bozard's new Lincoln showroom. The Drive and Dine Giveaway. Weekday mornings on Action News Jax.
Hey, it's Coos from Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Now, I know there's a ton of ways you can listen to the show, but did you know one of the ways is through a smart speaker? Yes, the Google Home, the Amazon Alexa. It's pretty easy to do. Just tell either of them to play ESPN 690. Try it out weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m., and you can listen to Action Sports Jacks.
Brent Martineau.
There's 3 islands, and it can be very nice and lucrative, by the way. You could be a huge winner, but you could be a huge loser, too. You might not have a boat to get home.
Austin Lane.
Well, I like that now. I love that analogy.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Hey, Gardner, you were kind of cranking your arm, I guess, with the shoulder there later on in that game. Were you banged up a little bit at any point there?
A little bit, but, just normal stuff.
That's Gardner Minshew after the game Sunday against the Chargers. And obviously not a lot of info there, right?
Yeah.
Guys don't use that. They're not going to say that. I mean, nobody says it in the NFL. Nobody, they don't even, the whole, it's the biggest cliche really in the locker room is like, nobody's 100%. Nobody's 100%, right? Yeah. That's their way of saying, yeah, I hurt like a son of a gun right now, but I'm not going to tell you.
Yep. No, you're absolutely right.
Right?
Yeah.
That's just part of it.
Unless with the Titans, you have a couple weeks off, you come back with those fresh legs.
That's true.
That
is true.
Fresh legs. We saw that.
Who'd they play last week? They lost to the Steelers?
Steelers.
And who do they have this week? Ravens. No, Steelers have the Ravens.
Steelers have the Ravens.
Okay, no, I was thinking the Steelers. Steelers got 2 bruisers then.
Yeah, 2 great games. Titans are playing the Bengals.
Yeah, that's not really a bruiser.
Nah, at Cincinnati.
I mean, it can be. I mean, Cincinnati can be. But
come on, Brent.
Nah,
it was for the Jags.
We aren't quite there yet. Well, Stewart, you want to rub that in too?
Burrow threw for 400. I don't think they're bruising anybody.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, just a reminder, our friends at CGC Water will be at the Morocco Shrine Auditorium this weekend. Jacksonville Home Show is happening Saturday 10 to 5, Sunday 10 to 4. Go out and say hello to our friends at CGC Water, and I'll make sure you tell them that you heard them.
Nice.
On ESPN 690.
Did you check out the whole coin event, the thing at the Morocco Shrine this past week? It seems like it's been going on we drive past.
I tell you, there are more things going on.
There's some coin junkies out there.
Is that a
was full.
Event?
Yeah, coin event.
Like a coin show?
I guess so.
Maybe next time they need a coin show MMA event doubleheader there.
Now we're talking.
Because you fought there, right?
I fought there. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I've fought there a couple times. It's a cool spot.
The wild thing about that place, which is right near our station.
Yeah.
And so we drive by all the time. And there are sometimes you go by on like a Saturday, Sunday, and it is like a line all the way out. And you're like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
Like, what am I missing?
Yeah,
especially in the coming months.
Well, with the lights.
They have the drive-through Christmas light display, which, by the way, they're paying $10 a car.
Is that what it costs?
It's something like that, just to roll through some lights. I don't know.
Listen, I'll decorate my house. Come on by, people.
If you want to do that, you just go to St. Augustine, right? They do it right now in St. Augustine.
Yeah, they do the Nights of Lights down there.
Is that Gervin?
Yeah, off of Gervin, the old neighborhood up there.
We've done that before.
Black Hawk Bluff is the name of the neighborhood up there.
Is the one in St. Augustine free?
Yeah, I mean, it's just everything in the city of St. Augustine gets lit up at that time of year.
Okay.
Now, like the trolley tours.
Sure.
They'll do the things where they give you these special kind of glasses, which just make those lights pop a little more.
I like that.
That or it's LCD. It's one of the two.
All right, cool. We'll go to both of them then, man. We'll go to the Morocco Shrine. I just have to tell my son to walk out and check it out. We're not paying 10. I mean, we could, but, I don't. You know how I operate.
Just drive slowly by on St. John's Bluff.
Tell him to walk. Yeah.
St. John's Bluff. Stay on the main road and just look to the right for like 10 seconds. Be like, there it is.
All right, son, get out. Check it out. Go jump on stuff if you want to. Pick you up in an hour.
That's it. We're
Have
going
fun.
We're good.
In the middle of the night. Yeah, it's good parenting.
Yeah, it'd be very good parenting.
Yeah.
So Gardner Minshew is a big story here today, folks. Multiple fractures in his thumb, ligament damage in his thumb, and quite frankly, we're sitting here on a Thursday afternoon in a bye week, and we have no idea what it means. I mean, we really don't. We don't know if he'll play next week. We don't know if he'll need a procedure to fix it and could miss significant time. We don't know that. And the other thing we don't know is if he can't play and he does need a procedure, or if he can't play because they feel like resting him, is which direction do they go at QB? And listen, I actually think I do know. I think they're going Mike Glennon. I think that's who's going to play. Yeah, I think they are. I mean, I think they're going Mike Glennon. They brought him in here. There's a comfort level with him, I think, with Jay Gruden. And I think the message to the team and everybody is still win games, okay? Inside that building, it's like, hey, we got to win, we got to win, we got to win. And what do? You do the best thing you can to win, put yourself in the best position to win. This isn't like, hey, let's see what we have with the young guy. No, this is like, this guy's done this before, so we have more confidence in a guy that done it before. There's no doubt Mike Glennon would play.
Okay, but like you say, the confidence factor. He's 6-16 in his career.
Oh, he's not good.
Yeah. So, like, so wouldn't you make the argument that you would actually put Luton in to see maybe he can provide that spark a la like Gardner Minshew did last year? Like, don't you think that Luton gives you more of an upside of winning? Like, to me, if they go, and listen, I'm sure this is going to happen. If Gardner Minshew's going to be out, we're going to have Doug Marrone sit up there. You know what? We really feel like Mike Glennon gives us the best chance to win. He's looking great all season, and we're going to give him a shot here. And then in the back of my mind, and I don't do these interviews probably for good reason, in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, 6-16, though. You know, well, is his arm's looking good? He's a great leader. Yeah, but 6-16 though. You know, like 6-16. So with that being said, I would probably go with the young gun and see what you got with him. Like you drafted him for a reason. Let's see what he's got.
Yeah, and then Marrone would turn to you and say, "Hey, Austin, that's a better winning percentage than what we have now."
Yeah, I'm not. What is that percentage? You want me to Google that real quick?
Yeah, it's like
that
3 for 8, so it's like something like 28% or something.
Not that much better though. And with Luton, you don't know. He's the wild card.
I'm with everybody here, okay? I would like to see Jake Luton, too, if that were to be the case. First of all, I think Gardner Minshew should play. And I think if he's healthy enough to play, he should play. I don't even think the other guys should sniff the field. Unless this just becomes so bad where it's a 3-interception game and a 2-interception game and a 3-interception game, and then bam. But I think he gives you the best chance to run your offense. If I was a receiver, I'd want Minshew in there. I know there's a little bit of disconnect right now. If I'm the offensive line, I want Minshew in there than these other guys. If I'm the coaching staff, I want him in there. So that's not even a question mark. This isn't like, hey, should they bench Minshew now because he hasn't played that great and he's hurt? No, this is, if he can't go, then who do you go to? And I'm with everybody. I would like to see Luton as well, but it's not going to happen. Like, I would be stunned if that were to be the case. We still can maintain the question of, hey, later in the year, if you know it's over, do you play Luton a little bit and just get him some reps and see what you have, and not necessarily to be the future quarterback, but to be, potentially some depth on the roster and get him some experience. Listen, that's a college kind of thing. It doesn't happen in the NFL very often. But it almost feels like the Chargers did that a little bit the other day with Easton Stick. It's like they put a new package in.
Yeah.
That was odd. Yeah. So I just feel like, unfortunately, we've seen Glennon play before. We don't have high expectations for Glennon, but he's going to be the guy.
Okay, I mean, I can't stress that enough. 6-16.
He's going to be the guy.
But 6-16. But let me ask you this question, though. So, obviously, right after Doug Marrone and, you're the entire coaching staff, and you're also Dave Caldwell, I mean, you're on thin ice. And that's a kind way of putting it.
Yes.
Simple as that. But, doesn't Luton give you that, I guess, example where, you know what? Let's say Luton comes out and he looks legit. For whatever reason, once again, it's like another, a shot in the dark. And wow, this guy, I mean, he's big-bodied. He's got the frame. I think he has the arm strength. Let's say he's a pretty good quarterback. And let's say, you know what? He's not going to be the leader for the next years to come. But, he's good for a 6th-round guy. Doesn't that help you? And maybe you're past the point of saving. But doesn't that help you if you're Dave Caldwell, if you're Doug Marrone, where you can look at, you know what, hey, we drafted this guy in the 6th round. No one was really talking about him. And now look what he's doing. This was on us. You want to bring up James Robinson all the time and say he was, you guys took a chance on him. In undrafted free agency, by the way. What a chance. What a shot in the dark that one was. Dice. What a roll of the dice. Man, I mean, gambling with it. But now you have an opportunity where I feel like if Luton comes in and does well, once again, assuming that Minshew's going to be out, well, you can point to him and you can say, we drafted this guy as well.
I'll give you another reason why Luton would make some sense. But I almost feel like the calendar doesn't add up the right way for it. But it might. I would say put him out there if he does do well. Because, listen, you have Minshew under contract too. So it's not like next year, if you do draft a quarterback or if you go in a different direction, you still have guys that will add depth. And Minshew you could make the case is one of the best backups in the league if that is the situation, right? I've said I still think he is a starting quarterback in the NFL, Minshew. I know he's not playing great right now, but I think he is. I feel that way. I don't know how good he is, but I think he's a starting. He can be one of 32. I really believe that.
Well, and let's be honest. If Blaine Gabbert can go other places and be a starting quarterback, Gardner Minshew can as well.
Yeah, no doubt. I think you could put that with a lot of guys, right? So, but they'll have some depth. My point being, if Luton were to go out there and play for a month, could you trade him in the offseason to somebody and then get a pick out of him?
Yeah.
Because you really don't. How many quarterbacks do you need that way? You got Minshew.
Yeah.
So would you need a Luton if you're thinking of it long term? Listen. I'd be highly intrigued to see him play. I get your point because if you want to go back to last year, I would say, well, listen, they played Minshew in the preseason. They saw him play in the preseason. Well, he didn't really play well in the preseason, and then he came in because he had to. Like some people wondered if they should go get a veteran quarterback, and we never would have seen Minshew. Remember?
I think after that Ravens game, we're both kind of discussing that a little bit.
Not only after that game because he didn't.
The Dolphins game too.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was. Whatever.
And the whole thing of it, everybody wondered. It was like, okay, around cut time, do you go get a veteran quarterback? They said, no, we like what we have here. We'll continue to work with what we have here. And you got a $50 million quarterback in Foles at the time. Well, then obviously Minshew gets plugged in. So I guess Luton didn't have a preseason, so we have no idea. Looked okay in practices. Yes, he did. He could throw the football. We saw him inside the scrimmage. He didn't really look that good that day.
Yeah.
But that's it. I mean, it's one day. That's all we got. We didn't have these preseason games. Point being, to back up what you said, could very much be like Minshew, where once he gets out there and starts slinging it around in game action, he could be pretty good.
Okay.
Even though he wasn't unbelievable, like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to get this guy on the field.
So you know how I operate, Brent. I deal in facts, and I deal in black and white when it comes to football. So I'm going to give you these names, and I want you to tell me if this guy does indeed start, what the goal of the Jacksonville Jaguars is right now, because I want to establish this. In case it happens, I want to know, okay, this is where the team's at right now. If they start Mike Glennon, what is the overall objective, the primary objective of the Jacksonville Jaguars if they start Mike Glennon?
I believe if they started Mike Glennon, that would be a sign of we're trying to win games. Okay. I think for Doug Marrone, it would be like, listen, this guy's played in the league before. We know what he is. Yes, he's got deficiencies. He's 6-16, but he gives us the best chance to win. He's seen defenses. He's seen different things. And so there would be more confidence in that from a coaching staff perspective. And maybe even a player perspective, than there would be to throwing Luton out there. So I think actually you're not throwing the towel into the season by playing Glennon, even though I'd probably rather see Luton.
Yeah. Well, then here's the question. If they bring in Luton, what are they telling everybody?
They're fine with the tank. Again, we're calling it the tank. I don't think they would use those words. But, hey, this is great. This is fine. This is extended preseason now. We're not very good to begin with. We got a guy that's probably going to take some lumps, make some mistakes, but let him learn on the fly a little bit.
Yeah. Can you imagine a 16-game preseason?
Well, right now we're at 6 games of it. Not 7. We got 1 under the belt, but it's starting to feel like we're 6 games in the preseason.
Sure.
At times. But so... Does that make sense? Like, I actually, do you feel differently? Do you feel like they're actually saying, hey, let's worry about this draft pick more than let's worry about the season if they play Glennon?
See, I guess this is where we disagree because I see Luton as the boomer bust guy. Either he's going to come out there and it's going to be a dumpster fire, in which case, okay, then you go to Glenn. Like, hey, we just want to see what the kid had. He didn't have a preseason. Like, he needs more time. So be it. I mean, that can very well happen. 6th-round pick. Usually, that's probably what does happen as a rookie with no preseason reps to go off of. So to me, that's like the ultimate boomer bust play where it's like, if we're trying to win games, let's just see what this kid's got because nobody knows right now. Like, we kind of know what Mike Glennon can do, okay? 6-16. Okay, now keep in mind, I get it. He's seen defenses before, and he has the experience. He's been in a lot of offenses, a lot of locker rooms, and that definitely counts for something against a guy who's never been in an NFL locker room until this year. So I get that point. But I just think that you play it safe, and you play for mediocrity if you have Glennon in. I think that you play for that boomer bust guy, and it's like, you know what, let's do everything in our power maybe to try to secure a couple victories. You put Luton in. Just my thinking. And then obviously, like I said, if Luton goes out there and he's not the guy, then you have no problem putting Glennon in.
Yeah, and I think you could do it the other way, too. I mean, Glennon's probably not going to win many games, and then you could play Luton, too. And it depends how long Minshew would be out. Yeah. But listen, you've played the game, man. That's why I like having you on the show. I mean, it's really the only reason. But, I mean, so now you sit on
this. It ain't my golf takes.
Now you sit on this side of the fence, and you're like, well, hey, does it make sense in terms of 1-15 or where they might draft? But you in that locker room now, you're a player in that locker room. What are you trying to do? What do you only care about?
Winning.
You care about winning on Sunday.
Putting out good film.
And so if you're in that locker room, if you're Josh Allen in that locker room, and they say, hey, we're rolling with Jake Luton, and Josh Allen comes on the show Tuesday and says, who the hell is Jake Luton?
And that could very well be the possibility, right? But we haven't seen Jake Luton at practice. They have a better idea. Like, listen, make the wrong decision, I feel like, right? Like, they have a gauge of what the locker room wants. They have a gauge where everybody's at. I mean, all we can do is speak from speculation outside that bubble. But if they start Luton, it's because, well, he indeed is the guy, at least in practice. And I think if they do start Luton, those guys in the locker room understand that because they've gone against him. Yeah. They understand it. They get it, right? And they already know who Glennon is. If they start Glennon, then it's just a sign that Luton's not ready. So, I guess to kind of get around your point a little bit, I think whoever goes in is going to have the support of the locker room because they've seen these quarterbacks firsthand. I don't see Doug Marrone throwing a change up like, hey, let's go and put the worst quarterback out there and let's see how the locker room reacts to that. Like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's interesting. And, they do have they get to see these guys in practice. So is there a little more trust in any of them than we might have, but we haven't seen?
It just drives me crazy because, like I said, I deal in certainties. And right now we disagree in terms of if Luton goes in, I think they're trying to win right now. You think they're trying to tank. And if Glennon goes in, I think they're tanking. You think they're trying to win. That's not good. That's not good chemistry right now, Brent. I don't like it, man.
Yeah, but it is good sports radio.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think that's why they brought those guys in, by the way, too, because they wanted Minshew to be the guy with nobody to challenge him.
Yeah.
And, you want Minshew in there. You give it three guys, you want Minshew in there.
I just hope Minshew is healthy and goes back in because the last thing I want to do is have a civil war with you about Mike Glennon and Jake Luton because I can see it going there. I can see me rooting against Mike Glennon for no reason now. I can see that happening.
Let's change topics. Can you be 76 years old and be a head coach in professional sports? My goodness. We'll have more on Minshew later on, but that's next on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Thursday. I'm Jake Mitchell. The Jaguars have lost practice squad D lineman Josh Morrow to the Arizona Cardinals. Also in transaction news, defensive tackle Dontari Poe and cornerback Darryl Worley were dropped from the Dallas Cowboys when the boys couldn't find any suitors for a trade. And some controversy in the World Series after Dodgers third baseman Justin Turner tested positive for COVID in the middle of the game somehow, which he was quarantined at the time, pulled directly from the game. After the game, however, he ran onto the field even though security had tried to stop him. He wanted to celebrate with his teammates. Most of the time he wore a mask, some of the time he did not. Here is Jeff Passan, ESPN senior MLB insider.
He essentially said, I'm going out there and nothing's going to stop me. I want to pose with the trophy. I want to be with my teammates. I want to celebrate like somebody who's won the World Series for the first time.
If you're working from home and want to listen to ESPN, tell your smart speaker to play ESPN 690.
ESPN 690, the home of the Florida State Seminoles in Jacksonville.
Duke goes down to defeat Florida State 79. Duke 74. The
basket lays. Oh, it drops. It drops with 1.8 seconds to go. Here's the snap. Winston rolling right. Throws the pass on the other. It's caught. It's caught. It's caught.
You'll hear Knowles football and men's basketball right here on ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio and the Florida State Seminoles.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
If you have a specific medical problem, you call a specialist. Broken leg? Call an orthopedist. Cataracts? Call an ophthalmologist. At Prime Men's Medical Center, our doctors specialize in ED and PE. Listen to Dr. Rubinski, a renowned expert in men's health.
I'm Dr. Rubinski. If you're experiencing ED or PE, Prime Men's Medical Center has custom blended medications to help you last longer in the bedroom, regardless of age or past medical history, with no pain or surgery. In fact, you'll see results in the office guaranteed or your exam is free. Patients are now lasting for 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. And best of all, treatments are affordable.
Men, if Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, call Prime Men's Medical Center for a private consultation with our highly skilled physicians. Call 904-206-8105. 904-206-8105. 904-206-8105.
You remember that special Camry purchase I was telling you about? The one that Arlington made that could put you behind the wheel of a Camry you really want? Well, in a matter of days, they've gone from 132 Camrys to just 99 on the lot. They're going fast, and so should you to Arlington. It's the Today's the Day sales event going on right now at Arlington Toyota, and their special purchase of new 2020 Camrys has gone from 132 in stock to just 99 that remain. That's how good the deals are. Make today the day you save big at Arlington and buy a new 2020 Camry at 0% for 60 months plus no payments for 90 days. And with every new vehicle purchase from Arlington, you get a lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles. Plus, you can buy with total peace of mind thanks to Arlington's 30-day exchange policy. That's 30 days to love it or exchange it. Want a new Camry? Then today's the day to get 0% for 60 months plus no payments for 90 days. But they're going fast, so don't wait. Shop safely in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/today's today for full details.
For more than 25 years, the potential for health improvement is seen with each patient that walks through our doors. Healthcare decisions don't have to be confusing. Make Island Doctors your medical practice.
My husband and I have been coming to Island Doctors for approximately 10 years, and we have been very happy with them, and we trust them.
Call us today and schedule a tour of one of our locations near you and take a look at our Best Wellness program. And welcome home.
Call 1-877-434-4676 or visit islanddoctors.com.
Hey, does your car still only play CDs? No Bluetooth? No CarPlay? You've got an old car, my friend. You know what's better than an old car? A less old car. Get a car or truck that's new to you with a great used car loan from 1-to-1 Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Get pre-approved for a loan and shop at any dealership in town. Get a low rate and get rid of that old car today. Apply online at 1to1fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Military veterans, now is the time to purchase your new home. Home Steps is a nonprofit organization that helps veterans achieve home ownership. Take advantage of the many benefits that's available just for you. Call Latasha Looper today at 904-574-7180.
ESPN690 wants you to shop the 904. And by doing that, you keep most of the money and jobs right here on the First Coast. Plus, local businesses give our community its uniqueness and character that makes living on the First Coast so great.
Shop the 904.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN690.
It's not your age that dictates whether you should manage. We have a very proactive coaching staff, great coaches that really embraced information. We believe in its place, and what's happened is the game is being overwhelmed by percentages and numbers. Percentages don't take into account the head, the heart, and the guts of a player that day. So there are times you say, man, I'd like to get back and help correct the balance.
He sounds like Thanos.
Is that Larissa?
Yeah. He sounds like Thanos when he gets all 5 stones.
I don't know if he has enough rings for the gauntlet.
I don't think so. Not yet.
He's got some rings, though.
He's got some rings.
I just jumped in late on it. Was he basically talking analytics versus
Well,
he's saying
he wasn't
that,
talking about analytics.
Yeah, he's
He was
saying that
against them.
analytics don't work. They don't measure the heart and the soul of a player.
Can we just appreciate that baseball has officially come full circle? Like, remember, what was that movie with Brad Pitt where it was all about analytics? Moneyball. Yeah, Moneyball, right? Like, that was the
yes,
whole
sir. Put
thing.
that next to Brent. Just got a movie right.
There we go, Brent. I see you, man. Like, that was like the whole thing. It was analytics and how it's taking over baseball. And now we have Tony La Russa coming in and saying, you're fired. Hey, you at the laptop, you're fired. We'll see you later. Bring in a bunch of old guys. Let's bring us back. The guy doesn't have a Facebook page, probably. He's not going to use analytics.
No, of course he doesn't have Facebook page.
Yeah, so he can use analytics either.
Well, if he does have one social media, it is a Facebook page.
I think he's too old, Stuart.
Even that.
I think it's not like my grandparents
What if
have.
he's watching right now?
There's no way. I'm not worried about it.
Tony, call in if you're watching.
If you are, you can. And I respect the heck out of Tony La Russa, the Hall of Famer. But this makes no sense. This is asinine. Tony La Russa is the manager of the Chicago White Sox, a White Sox team that's kind of built up with young talent. And he's 76 years old. And listen, I'm not trying to. I know I sound it. I love you, older folks. I mean, I love playing golf with you. Yeah. I love my parents, my grandparents, Steph's parents, every parents.
I love my grandparents, man. Come on, man.
But,
nothing but love.
There's two things. I said this recently about the election. I don't understand. Like, the way we go in our world now, everything gets younger and younger. Yeah. Yet we've got almost 80-year-old presidents. Yeah. Right? To pick from, 75 to 80. Like, I understand wisdom and all that stuff, but I mean, that's about as old in a new era, in a new modern way. That's like old school, so old school. Like, I don't understand it. We just watched it in Jacksonville. And listen, I respect the heck out of Tom Coughlin, what he's done. I respect the heck out. In fact, I love you, Tom Coughlin, for bringing us 2017, because outside of 17, we'd have nothing around here. But he also helped kind of tear it all down, in essence, in some way, shape, or form.
Because he couldn't relate.
So, I mean, we just saw that here. Like, how much of it was his fault, we can all debate and all that. But it was part of it, okay? We know that. And so how you now are going to manage with this new wave of analytics or mix of analytics and old school baseball and this young talent and bat flipping and all this stuff, I don't get it. It does not add up to me at all for Tony La Russa, and he hasn't even been around. Well, I should say he hasn't been around the game, but he hasn't been a manager in like 9 years. Yeah. I don't get it.
I want to know, like, how these meetings, it's Jerry Reinsdorf, right? It's the owner. Yeah. I want to know how these meetings went with Jerry Reinsdorf, where they're all sitting, at a table, and they're like, hey, we have a really young team, a lot of exciting players. Expectations are high right now. We need to go after a guy who can manage this ball club, maybe use some analytics. You see what the Rays just did? We can do that too. Like, let's get somebody on board. And Reinsdorf just sits back. He's like, guys, I got this. Hey, 76-year-old Tony La Russa, let's go. I mean, how does that happen? Like, I don't know. I get it, man. You're the owner. You have the money. When you have the money, you have the power. That's what Tony Montana used to say, right? So I get it. But, man.
But you know what? Listen, the White Sox had a great run that one year, right? They won the World Series, or did they go to the World Series? They won the World Series, did they? Or did they just go to the World Series?
I get them confused with the Tigers all the time. I think they. Well, let me check it out. I don't want to misspeak.
I feel like they won the World Series.
I don't want to misspeak.
And they've actually rebuilt their team very nicely. They've got some arms. They've got some young talent. I mean, pretty good. And I don't get going back to the well. Like, this doesn't make sense.
So the White Sox won it back in 2005.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay.
Yeah, good call.
So, but overall, they haven't been good. In my lifetime, the White Sox haven't been good other than that year. They really haven't. And so this just doesn't make any sense to me. And again, I'm sorry for the older folks listening. Or it's not a.
That's all that listens to us, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
But that is our audience.
I just don't get this. It makes no sense to me. You're going to have this clash of style, this clash of young versus older. You're going to have this clash of analytics versus old school baseball. It makes. This is Jerry Reinsdorf just saying, hey, yeah, I remember Tony La Russa is like one of the greatest ever. He's a Hall of Famer. Let's go hire him.
Let's go sell some tickets. Like, I don't.
What are we doing? And by the way, like, Tony La Russa's not even the guy that's like old but doesn't look it.
Yeah.
No, he looks it.
No, for sure.
He looks old.
Yeah.
Like, he's kind of like it's. I'll tell you the one place it's worked a little bit.
Okay.
One place it's worked in my opinion.
In baseball or in professional sports in general? I'm drawing a blank, man.
It's not a head coach, though.
You talking about Wade Phillips?
Nope.
I got nothing, man.
Pat Riley. Pat Riley in Miami.
Yeah.
Still older guy now.
Yeah.
But he's still doing it. And what they've built with Spoelstra and the culture they've built and all that helped them get there.
But you've seen Pat Riley's haircut, dude. That dude's still young at heart, man. He's got some swag now.
More of that when we come back on ESPN690.
More swag.
As the seasons change, there's one thing that never changes: the importance of clean drinking water. A Connecticut system, CGC Water, removes up to 99% of contaminants. Now that's clean, and that's also why our family has a Connecticut system from CGC Water. Yours can too. Right now, CGC Water is offering a free A200 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Connecticut Premier softener. Connecticut Premier softeners are non-electric and have twin tanks, making them super efficient, saving you money. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Schedule your free water test today and get peace of mind knowing your family's water is safe water. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Remember, this is a limited time offer, a free A200 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Connecticut Premier softener. Financing available with approved credit. Just call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia, CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
You know why women love Diamonds Direct? Because they can always get a ring they're proud to wear.
I was able to get everything, the most perfect diamond I could ever want. It's just my dream ring that I thought I would never be able to afford.
You cannot beat the value that Diamonds Direct gives you. It kind of took my breath away when I did see how big that diamond was.
You have to put your sunglasses on to look at this. It's just gorgeous. We're amazed at the quality we got for the price.
But way beyond the ring, women love the Diamonds Direct experience. It's personal, it's caring, it's authentic, and it's fun.
It's people that are pretty much family, honestly, at this point. I'm not even joking. It sounds like an exaggeration, but they're so warm and welcoming.
And they were so nice and so down to earth, and we just felt like family.
Very laid back. Not one time did we feel like we were being pressured. Not one time did we feel like we were being asked to extend a budget we did not have.
Just make you feel so at home and you just feel comfortable shopping. It's just a great place to shop. I mean, I love it.
Discover the difference for yourself. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
What can you get done in 10 minutes? Run a mile? Maybe. Find a date online for this Friday? Easy. What about listing your home for sale? In 10 minutes? Can't be possible. With the new Instant List tool from Rex, it is. Rex Instant List allows you to value and list your home with an agent in as little as 10 minutes. With the real estate market getting hotter, time is money. Let's get started. Visit sellwithrex.com. Rex listing agent fees start at just 2%, saving sellers over $23 million in fees since 2015 with absolutely no sacrifice on service. Have 10 minutes to spare? Visit sellwithrex.com to get started or speak to a Rex agent at 833-739-4663. That's 833-739-4663. That's 833-739-4663.
License number, Florida, CQ 1057788. Minimum fee may apply. Rex fully supports the principles of the Fair Housing Act and Equal Opportunity Act.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need to be involved in the community. Then you need to...
Whoa. I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions, your local marketing team putting you at the top of mind. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today and let us take your business to the next level. Local Solutions, powered by Cox Media Group. Marketing solved.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? If you're looking for new headlights and wipers, we recommend replacing in pairs. That way you'll have better visibility, especially with the weather changing. And there's no better time to do the job than during our first ever visibility event, October 25th to November 1st, where AutoZone Rewards members can get a $25 bonus reward when they buy 2 select Sylvania headlights and 2 Rain-X wiper blades. Restrictions apply. See terms at AutoZone.com/rewards.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
What does my family think about stiff and uncomfortable shoes?
Ew.
That's gonna be a no from me.
Forget about it.
And that's why we wear Skechers Stretch Fit shoes. Because Skechers Stretch Fit are made from a breathable, soft knit that stretches and moves with you, giving you a comfortable, perfect fit with every step. And not only do Stretch Fit comfortably hug your feet, but they also have Skechers' famous air-cooled memory foam. Plus, they're machine washable and they're affordable. Find styles for men, women, and kids at a Skechers store near you, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish shoes are sold.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anna Jar and Levine studios. Anna Jar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
I'm Christine Lisi, developing story. The White Sox have hired Hall of Famer Tony La Russa as their new manager. The 76-year-old returning to where his managerial career began in 1979 in Chicago. It has been 9 years since La Russa last managed an MLB game. Major League Baseball continues to investigate the actions of Dodgers third baseman Justin Turner, who returned to the field to celebrate a World Series title after he'd been removed from Game 6 for a positive COVID-19 test. MLB not prepared for Turner to refuse instructions to leave the field, but couldn't have anticipated that either, explains ESPN Pedro Gomez.
I don't know that you really could think that out, saying, okay, if we have a player who refuses to leave, we're going to, come in and just physically remove him. I don't know that necessarily, that plan exists from a celebratory type of moment.
Pedro Gomez on the Max Kellerman Show. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, Patriots receiver Julian Edelman expected to be out for some period of time after a precautionary standard knee procedure today. That includes Sunday's game against the Bills. The knee has limited Edelman all season.
Barbasol shaving cream comes out thick and rich and doesn't break down. That's why America's number one shaving cream. Close Shave America. Close Shave Barbasol.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anna Jar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Nice counter left there from Michaela Mayer. She keeps pounding with that left hook, follows up with the right, and down goes Zamora.
Brent, you know how I operate, right? I'm always the guy that's trying to find that next big thing.
Yeah.
Right? I found Kyler Murray this year. You found those stupid headphone things that you wear from Apple. Like
AirPods.
Those are AirPods, thank you. Those are big. Now, they're not cool, but they're big, and everyone's into them. Well, I make it a habit of trying to find the next big thing. And I think right now, our next guest on this show has the potential to be the next big thing. Not only in female boxing, but I'm talking about in combat sports in general. We are happy to be joined right now by Michaela Mayer. Michaela, how are we doing today?
Hi, doing well, thank you.
Michaela, AirPods, they cool or not?
I hate AirPods because they don't fit in my ear. I don't understand how everyone runs and works out with them. Like, they fall out.
Brent, you see, the kids aren't into it. I told you, man. You got to start taking note a little bit. Michaela, so I got to talk to you a little bit real quick before we get into your fight coming up here. My introduction to you was actually like 5 or 6 years ago in the most random of places. It was a Dr. Pepper commercial. And I distinctly remember. Yeah, so I distinctly remember the Dr. Pepper commercial because, number one, it had one of my favorite bands, Sleigh Bells. Brent, don't worry about Sleigh Bells. They're like a thrash metal band.
Appreciate it.
You ain't into them. Don't worry about that.
Nope.
But it was a really cool commercial. I'm like, I had no idea who this girl hitting the mitts was, hitting the heavy bag, but I had to check her out. And ever since then, I've been a fan. So my question to you is, how did you get hooked up in a Dr. Pepper commercial? And did you get like a year's supply of anything from them?
Oh, my God. Okay, so that was like 7 years ago because that released in January of 2013. So, yeah, we filmed in like 2012. And that was, they contacted Coach Al, some random person with a production company, and then they're trying to get a hold of me, and then my Coach Al connected them to my manager, and I don't know, just how anything happens. They're looking for unique people with like unique stories, like one-of-a-kind stories, right? And they felt mine to be unique, and that was such a dream come true for me because, to be honest, that campaign like funded my Olympic dream. You know, it was just like any other amateur boxer. Like, you don't get paid as an amateur. Training in a sport like boxing, like no one. It's not like gymnastics or these Americanized sports anymore. And so with that deal, like I was able to really, really chase my dream and go on and make the Olympic team in 2016.
So, Michaela, and you mentioned it, obviously you have a great story, and it's a different one, obviously, but like the part that I love about it is the fact that you actually started in Muay Thai. Now, I train MMA myself. I'm a pro MMA fighter. Trying to get to like a record like yours one day, we'll see. But my point is, like, what made you pursue Muay Thai first, and then what actually made you pursue boxing after that? Because usually, if you find something that you like, you stick with it. But you actually transitioned from Muay Thai to boxing.
Yeah, so I started with Muay Thai because that was the gym that was by my house. It was a Muay Thai, it's called Majiro Gym LA, and it was right down the street from my house, like, so it was accessible. You know, I didn't have a car, so I just ran there every day. And the coach there was Ricardo O'Kane, who was an old Muay Thai kickboxing guy. So he was the first person to sort of take me under his wing and, you know, saw my passion and kind of like, those first coaches are so important, and he did that for me. And I love Muay Thai, and I'm tall and I have long legs and I could kick well, but I had this little like minor tweak in my back, probably from going from like not working out at all to suddenly wanting to work out 6-7 days a week and be the best in this fighting sport. So I had this little tweak in my back that prevented me from kicking, and so my coach at the time was like, let's just take some boxing fights to keep you busy. And it was easier in LA, right? To find boxing matches versus Muay Thai matches. And so that came easy. And then all of a sudden I just sort of like fell in love with boxing. I didn't want to go back to kicking, and my toes are broken, and I don't know. I just liked boxing. And it was easier for me to get more fights, and there was more of a ladder to climb in the United States with boxing versus Muay Thai.
Absolutely. Michaela Mayer with us here on Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. Big fight coming up this weekend. I wanted to ask you a little bit about your success in USA boxing, and just as it relates to COVID-19 and the summer games that were postponed until next year for all the athletes. How hard do you think that will be for athletes who were gearing up for that and now have to kind of shift their focus and training into the next year?
Yeah, so I don't even have to think about it because I still have good friends on Team USA. You know, I still live in Colorado Springs down the street from the Olympic Training Center, and I know these kids, they're not even kids, a lot of them are grown, but on this Olympic team who've had to, I mean, waiting 4 years is already like a lot of work, right, to be very patient. And so adding an extra year on there, and then on top of that, not even knowing if it's actually going to happen. Like, we're all still sitting here, like, anything can happen, right? We didn't think this pandemic was going to last that long. So I definitely feel for them, especially, you know, my friend Ginny Pugh, she didn't turn pro after the last Olympics. She decided to stay for one more quad, and she's 32 this year, and she's putting her pro career on hold for this Olympic dream that she has. And an extra year makes a difference in the sport. You know, we can't be athletes forever. So I definitely feel for them.
Michaela, you know, we always talk about in the show, we talk a lot of sports here, and we always talk about the modern era athlete, right? And we talk about the modern era athlete, you know, there's a certain vibe, there's a certain self-awareness with it. And we always kind of find, like, especially in the sports we cover, like the Jacksonville Jaguars here in Jacksonville, like sometimes when you have an older coach, well, it doesn't mesh well. I mean, you have one of the most respected coaches, and to me, in my opinion, one of the most old school coaches, and Al Mitchell coaching you. My first question is, how'd you guys kind of, you know, get together? And number two, like, and I don't think there's a disrespect here, but like, was he kind of hesitant to actually coach a female fighter, and did you have to kind of earn his respect a little bit?
Oh yeah, no, that's a good question, because yeah, I am like the first female who's trained at this level. Like, he's had a few girls that he's worked with here and there, but I mean, I got connected with him because there was a boxing program in northern Michigan that he ran. So he ran this program for 20 years where he had kids come up there, and they had to be enrolled in Northern Michigan University, and he trained them for the Nationals and for the Olympics. And so, I mean, he had a lot, they're called the Bad Boys. He had a lot of great male fighters coming in out of that program. And towards the end of it, that 20th year, he got a call from my dad saying, like, will you take my daughter? They're letting women into the Olympics now. Like, you have to take her. And so he was like, you know, it wasn't something that normally he would be open to doing, but he's like, all right, you know, I guess it's there in the Olympics. And my dad called and kind of pushed it. So 2 weeks later, I was on a plane from LA to northern Michigan, the North Pole, which was a disaster. If I knew where I was going, I might not have gone.
I was going to say, what month was that? Because makes a big difference.
No, like, you're right on Lake Superior. So even though it's maybe like 5 degrees out, it's really like -15. And I'd never been in that weather, let alone having to run in that weather and like walk to classes. And I just didn't have like the attire. Like, I showed up in a Juicy suit and Ugg boots. Okay. Like, that was my warm outfit. And so I just didn't know. I had to learn real quick, but I ended up staying there even after the program shut down. I got there the last year the program was open. And so even after that shut down, I mean, I got my ass an apartment and I stayed there because I was like, I don't really like the cold, and I'm not in school anymore because they cut my funding, but I'm going to stay with this coach. He's going to get me to the Olympics. Like, this is what I have to do. And so I stayed there for 5 years, ended up making the team in 16. 2016.
Top Rank Boxing on ESPN is going to stream live starting at 7:30 ESPN Plus. Let's talk about your opponent a little bit. Abra Brodnicka. We'll just call it like that. And did I say that right? Was that close enough, Michaela?
Yeah, it's
not bad.
EWA. It's EWA.
Yeah.
So I've been calling her Ava, but I think it's Eva. It's just the way it's spelled.
Well, yeah, it is what it is. I mean, obviously, we have a lot more respect for you than her, apparently. But with that being said, though, let's be honest. I mean, she is a champion, right? And she's bringing the belt to the table right now. I've watched 2 or 3 of her matches, and I feel like with you, listen, I feel like you've come into your own now, right? You found your range. You have the technique. You can fight in, you can fight out. Like, you're a technical boxer, and anytime you can showcase those skills, that gets the ratings. You're fighting a girl, though, who has 2 things, in my opinion. She either dances around the outside or she comes in and tries to hold you. So my question is, as far as the game plan, I don't need to know your game plan, but, like, how do you avoid fighting her fight? Like, how do you go about making it a Michaela Mayer main event kind of fight where you're on ESPN and we're all talking about you?
So, like, and you just made me think of this. Like, you are not the first person to say, this is what she does. She runs and then she holds. And it's very, very, very clear what her style is. And so I think that maybe she does that really well. And so we've definitely trained to fight a runner, which can be frustrating, and definitely trained to fight someone who's going to grab and hold, which can be frustrating also. But the fact that you can look at her fight, and even people who maybe not know boxing really well can see what she does, I think that's a weakness in its own. If you look at my fights, you can see that I can fight in all areas of the ring. I can box and move. I can fight on the inside. And so you don't really know what I'm going to do. You can't train for all of that. But we've trained for what Ava Brodnicka does, and we have game plans for that. And yeah, like you said, it can be a little frustrating, those styles, and not playing into it. But, you know, that's what I have 2 great coaches for. That's what we've had a 13-week camp for. So we got it.
And, you know, as we talk about the evolution, if you will, of Mayer here, you know, you had a really good job. Like, I feel like now you're starting to get to come into your own where you're starting to hype up your fights and stuff, right? Like, you call that Terry Harper for her belt. It seems like you're more active on social media now. Like, obviously that's by design, right? Like, you're trying to go above and beyond right now. You found a new sense of confidence. I don't call it cockiness because you have the skills to back it up. So it's confidence. But do you truly feel like all these belts should be yours?
Yeah, I do. It's so funny because Coach Al hates when I get like that too. Like, he's always like, you know, stay humble. Like, he's always raised me just to be like, you know, humble and like whatever positive. But like, I really have gotten to this point where I feel, and it's because of his coaching and his training and our hard work in the gym. Like, I come into these fights now and I'm really confident. Like, I feel like I'm peaking and, you know, coming to my own as an athlete, and I feel like I'm the best in this division. And so I'm ready to say that, you know. And I didn't want to step into the pros and be like, I got this, I'm the best, F everyone, because I was coming out of the amateurs, and that's a huge transition from the amateurs to the pro. Not everyone does it well, and I had to work hard at it. And now I feel like I'm at the point where, like, okay, I put the work in. I'm 13-0. I'm the top contender in this division, and I'm ready. I'm ready for the challenges. So the confidence came naturally.
You know, and last question for you is, obviously, as you get more showcased here on ESPN, and obviously you're on ESPN690 right now, so you officially made it because we have all the big stars on our show. No, with that being said, though, you know, as you get more opportunities now, let's be honest, like, your name starts to grow more, people start to know you more, and you start to become a household name. Well, that means more opportunities outside the ring. And I guess we've seen this more in MMA than we have with boxing. I mean, I think Ronda Rousey's a classic example. But, like, how do you balance the outside stuff now coming your way? Because it's going to be a whirlwind. It's going to be a tornado. How do you balance the outside stuff with the in-ring stuff?
It's a skill. Not everyone has that skill. I knew from the very beginning that if I wanted a career in the sport, that I had to brand myself. I had to reel in the sponsors, reel in the endorsements, and I had to build this market that didn't exist. So I've always known that from the jump. And that's where, like, I sort of manifested. I feel like I've manifested everything in my life, but also, like, that Dr. Pepper deal, you know, that went hand in hand with me knowing that was an important part of building my career. And I'd gotten with a manager, and fortunately, just in time, I was able to turn that deal over to him. And I've been with the same manager ever since. And so we've really been building my career and working hard to brand myself. And so I feel like I've set myself up nicely. So this is all going to come in, and I'm ready for it. I'm prepared for it. And it does take balance and extra focus, but I feel like I'm going to be able to handle it well.
Michaela Mayer on ESPN 690, and I'm here for all the boxing talk and a big fight coming up on Saturday, of course. But I'm not leaving without asking you this fun fact that was handed to us as well. Former bassist in a punk rock band as a teenager. Explain, please.
It wasn't punk. It was a metal band.
Oh, it was metal band. Okay.
Even more impressive.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I was in an all-girl rock metal band coming up. Like, I feel like I've always been an extremist, and when I was younger, like, it was metal and music, and that's what I loved. I would go to shows, and I ended up putting an ad out on Craigslist to join a band, and I wanted to be in an all-girl rock metal band, and I got a response real quick. And I was with these girls for years. We played Warped Tour 3 times, like went on 2 U.S. tours. Like, we were nothing big, but we did it, and it was fun. And my singer, guitar player, Nita Strauss, like, she really made it. She's the lead guitarist for Alice Cooper, best female guitar player in the world, in Rolling Stone magazine. So she's awesome. She's great. When this pandemic ends, I'm definitely having her walk me out to my next world title fight. So, but yeah, I dropped it all though, and then started boxing.
That's awesome. All right,
story.
so I have to ask you then real quick. The last song you play, I mean, I'm not sure if you listen to music or not. Obviously, it's not going to be with those AirPods, but if you do listen to music, what's the last song that you're playing before you walk out to the ring?
Oh, I got, oh my gosh, so many things right now, but I'm still preparing my walkout song, so that'll probably be that. But okay. I'm definitely, like, I'm more into the hip hop now. So my last fight, I walked out to Moneybag Yo, but I'm thinking NLE Chopper right now. People, like, don't expect me to walk out to that, but it's just what hypes me up. So
hey, appreciation. I can dig that. It's all good.
Good stuff, Michaela Mayer. Thanks for spending some time with us. Good luck Saturday night, and hopefully we can get you on again soon.
Okay, right on. Thank you.
You bet. How cool is that story? What is it with you guys, you fighters?
What's up?
You guys all have pretty interesting stories.
Yeah, man.
I mean, that was like not just going in your garage and being a metal band bassist.
No,
she said she toured.
Warped Tour, man.
I didn't expect that. Like, I thought it was like, that's kind of a fun little cool thing.
Yeah, she plays on the side like I do, like every once in a while, once in a blue moon. No, she's actually legit.
That's pretty
cool. She can slap the bass. That's cool.
By the way, Saturday night, Top Rank on ESPN, streams live on ESPN Plus. Undercard start at 7:30, and very cool. Good story. That is a wild story in itself because I've been to Northern Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
So I know what she's talking about. You have too, right?
Oh, I was getting recruited there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was going to be a no for me.
I mean, people, you don't understand how cold it is there.
Yeah, it's something different.
I mean, we would go because I would do the play-by-play for the men's and women's basketball team, so we would take that trip. And Steph actually played volleyball. They were in our conference.
Oh,
and so she played volleyball up there. And I wouldn't really go on those trips at the time.
Yeah.
But I went with the men's and women's basketball team, made a trip up there, and you'd stay up there for like 3 days and doing the radio stuff. And I mean, it's obviously in December and January.
Yeah.
You're lucky you get home.
Yeah. I'll tell you what.
Feel like it's going to snow for like 5 feet.
One of the cool things I've ever seen was when I took a recruiting trip to Minnesota Duluth, kind of up there as well, right? And it gets cold up there, especially in the wintertime, obviously. And they had this thing where it's like underground tunnels. So when you stayed in the dorms as a freshman and sophomore, the tunnels led to every one of your classrooms. So you never had to take a step outside. You literally could get up, go in your PJs, go in these tunnels, you go to class. Never had to put on a jacket, never had to go outside. How cool is that?
That is really cool. That's a great idea.
Duluth. Yeah,
it's kind of
makes sense.
And by the way, it was like going to the Super Bowl in Minnesota. That's their whole city.
Yep.
And Indianapolis has a little bit of a feel like this in the winter. That's why it's become such a convention place.
Yeah. Yep.
But pretty wild. Great story, Michaela Mayer. She was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens Saturday night. But obviously, this is a hurdle fight, right? I mean, this is one that I should call it like a trampoline fight.
Yeah.
Because she wins this.
Well, so she wins
all the big
this,
things come.
Exactly. She wins this one. She wins the belt. It's actually the first time ESPN has ever showed, I think,
it is
women's title fight, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So it's a big, I mean, for her from that standpoint. But this is going to catapult her, I feel like, into another stratosphere if she wins this fight. She's going against a pretty game opponent, but I feel like if Mayer fights her fight, she's have no problem.
Somebody's O has to go.
Has got to go. Yes,
and
sir.
Real quick thought, we do is FSU at 4. We'll mention real fast. Listen, the storylines for FSU are not crazy right now, right? It's like, can you try to find a W? My thought was this. I don't know if you watched the end of the game the other day. I think Stuart, we were working, and he probably saw some of it. But
you're talking about against Louisville here.
Against Louisville, and they were getting trounced, right?
Yeah.
And I thought it was a very disappointing effort. Mm-hmm. But when Purdy came into the game, right, he looked a little different to me. Right?
Yeah.
He looked like the guy that could do a little bit of everything. He got my attention. Now, he went like 0 for 8 because everybody dropped every pass there once.
I mean, there's a drop touchdown pass.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, they dropped like breadbasket
Didn't
passes.
do many favors.
Yeah. I mean, it was just like the epitome of what they failed on the whole game. Yeah. And the epitome of Florida State right now, in a sense.
Yeah.
But I left that game with, I want to see more of him. And Jordan Travis, by the way, has done a good job at quarterback. He's given him some life.
I was going to say, here's the problem. We said the exact same thing after Jordan Travis came in.
Yeah.
It's not a bad point.
The problem with Travis for me is we know we can't really throw the football.
You know what you're getting with him.
And so to me, it's how can you be that one-dimensional? I actually wonder, how do you even play quarterback at this level, knowing that you can't sit there and throw it 25 times a game? You can't. You just wouldn't do that to you. Mm-hmm. Because now listen, he's also done a couple of things with the arm, but he's a legs guy. I mean, that's what he is. And it surprises me that you can play at this level and be that, in this day and age. Mm-hmm. So he can do it adequately, but they're not going to sit there and throw it 30 times. Mm-hmm. So if a team can take away the run, then you're in trouble. Yeah. If they spy him, you could be in trouble. Now he's still done a really nice job. He's fun to watch that way. Mm-hmm. But what else happens? You're going to get banged up, right? And he has been banged up. Mm-hmm. So I'm interested in seeing. Now, listen, it might be a flop, but we had the collarbone issue. Now he's obviously back. I'd like to see them insert him a little bit more and see what they have.
I mean, you might as well, right? Because at the end of the day, listen, you could be playing for a bowl game, maybe, but it's not a good year for the Florida State Seminoles. And I think the way it works, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but this is kind of like a free year for everybody, right? Where if they put him in, I mean, you're not going to burn anything with him, so you might as well put that dude in, see what he has, and then you can evaluate him going forward. Well, nothing to lose.
The other thing is they have a bye right now this week. Okay?
Yeah.
And so you could work him in more. Now that he's healthy, you can start working him back in. So when you play Pittsburgh in a couple of weeks, then he could be ready to go. I'd almost be surprised if we don't see a little bit more of that. My takeaway from that game is he's awful. It was, no, they can't catch the football for him.
Yeah.
And that was just an awful game in general, and everything went wrong.
Yeah.
So that's my thought on Florida State. And with FSU at 4, that means we also give away a $25 gift card to Donato's. Weber, can you handle this?
Man, we're throwing a lot at him right now.
I don't know if anyone's going to get it. It might just go in my pocket.
Weber, that's illegal.
Phones are off.
That
Sorry,
cannot
everybody.
happen.
Yeah, you should preface that for sure. Yeah, we don't encourage that kind of behavior.
904-362-9901.
Call number
27. Let's not make it hard on Weber.
35.
And we'll just do
first
caller number 2
okay.
for 2-quarterback system.
There it is.
904-362-9901. $25 gift card to Donato's Pizza on Beach Boulevard. We'll be back on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly sunny, breezy, and hot today. Record highs near 90. Some scattered late day and evening showers and storms will bring in some much cooler air tonight, dropping into the mid to upper 50s. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 at Fox 30 Action News Jacks from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm TV meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. It's Beard's Diamonds 40th anniversary sale. Save up to 40% off store-wide till November 30th.
You remember that special Camry purchase I was telling you about? The one that Arlington made that could put you behind the wheel of a Camry you really want? Well, in a matter of days, they've gone from 132 Camrys to just 99 on the lot. They're going fast, and so should you to Arlington. It's the Today's the Day sales event going on right now at Arlington Toyota, and their special purchase of new 2020 Camrys has gone from 132 in stock to just 99 that remain. That's how good the deals are. Make today the day you save big at Arlington and buy a new 2020 Camry at 0% for 60 months plus no payments for 90 days. And with every new vehicle purchase from Arlington, you get a lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles. Plus, you can buy with total peace of mind thanks to Arlington's 30-day exchange policy. That's 30 days to love it or exchange it. Want a new Camry? Then today's the day to get 0% for 60 months plus no payments for 90 days. But they're going fast, so don't wait. Shop safely in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/today's the day for full details.
Nothing is certain except death and taxes. And your appliance is breaking down as soon as they're out of warranty. At Atlantic Coast Appliance, we can't help with the first two, but we've got the third one covered. Our factory-trained and certified technicians have been repairing appliances for more than 35 years, with a 90-day warranty on parts and labor and a 100% satisfaction guarantee. For quality repair at a price that's fair, trust Atlantic Coast Appliance. AtlanticCoastAppliance.com. That's AtlanticCoastAppliance.com.
Injuries on the job can cause you to lose control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar Levine. Money is not coming in and your medical bills are piling up. Our legal team is here to help. We can help you file all your workers' compensation claims to make sure you get the proper benefits you're entitled to. If you've been injured on the job, call the law offices of Anajar Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
Now this is a stimulus package. You could be driving away in a new Ford F-150 or a Lincoln Aviator from Bozard Ford Lincoln. Watch for the word of the day between 6:30 and 7 during Action News Jacks this morning. Text 46757 and you could qualify to win. Plus, every day we're giving away 2 $100 gift cards to the new Ford's Garage restaurant, located outside Bozard's new Lincoln showroom. The Drive and Dine giveaway. Weekday mornings on Action News Jacks.
The First Coast is booming. With interest rates at historic lows, there has never been a better time to call Brandon Ponsel and his network of local experts at Jack's Coastal Homes. You can visit them at jackscoastalhomes.com or call them today at 904-206-9480 and mention ESPN690 to receive up to $2,500 towards your closing cost. Need to sell? Powered by the unparalleled technology of EXP, Brandon will guarantee the sale of your home in under 60 days or he'll sell it for free. The First Coast market is on the move. Are you?
For more than 25 years, the potential for health improvement is seen with each patient that walks through our doors. Healthcare decisions don't have to be confusing. Make Island Doctors your medical practice.
My husband and I have been coming to Island Doctors for approximately 10 years, and we have been very happy with them, and we trust them.
Call us today and schedule a tour of one of our locations near you and take a look at our Best Wellness program. And welcome home.
Call 1-877-434-4676 or visit islanddoctors.com.
Though no longer little, teens still need a lot of love. Yet teens in foster care have a harder time finding it, as 82% of foster families are home to kids 12 or younger. You can positively impact a teen's life as a foster parent. With help from Family Support Services of North Florida, you provide patience, love, and understanding, and Family Support Services will offer specialized training, resources, and a community of support. Take the next step at foster-now.org. That's foster-now.org.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com. Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Hope you catch the show Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. But if you can't catch it, or if you want to go back and listen again, check out the Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 podcast. Just search ESPN 690 in your podcast app.
Brent Martineau.
Then I said, still looking for his 4th career sack.
Austin Lane.
I'm spending pretty much every single day with somebody for pretty much 2 years now that you know somebody. And they surprise you. I sit here before you right now, and I am surprised.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
So we've had good success with Pac-12 quarterbacks in the 6th round. Do you want to continue that? You want to continue that tradition?
I love that more than anything. That sounds great, Coach. I won't let you down. Give you everything I got.
That is Dave Caldwell. Draft day conversation. Yeah, Coach Dave Caldwell. Draft day conversation with Jake Luton when he got drafted in the 6th round, obviously referring to Gardner Minshew. Luton can sling it. That was courtesy of Jaguars.com. By the way, more behind the scenes of the Jaguars tonight on Jaguars All Access. We'll discuss the Gardner Minshew injury at length. That's coming up tonight, 7 o'clock on Fox 30. We'll be at the stadium for that in a bye week, but the show must go on, and it goes on with some obviously big news around the quarterback situation of the Jags here on a Thursday. We'll discuss that in length a little bit more coming up. We'll also have Josh Allen on, and Ashlyn Sullivan will have a conversation with Daniel Thomas, who blocked the punt on Sunday. And it's so important, so important the remainder of this year for the Jacksonville Jaguars to flash it with the young guys. I mean, they really have to. Like, that is, we can be, miserable. We can, we got to acknowledge it's a 6-game losing streak and the team isn't very good. There's not a lot of hope in terms of this season. I mean, what are you hoping for? Many people are just hoping for a draft pick. But it is so important for some of these young players to be good. I don't know how many that is. I feel like it should be more than look good so far, if I'm being honest. But it is imperative, if this thing is going to get fixed at some time in the next couple years, that this draft was not a bust. Mm-hmm. And we did it yesterday, and it's not off to a great start. It really isn't. You can see some flashes here or there, but you are lying to yourself if you sit there saying, I'm fired up about this draft. That is not the way it is. That does not mean it's going to be a failure of a draft or bad draft. But through 7 games, it's a slow starter in terms of being able to nail it down as a successful draft. That's fact. And we'll have to play this last 9 games out and see where these guys are. And improvement is, like I just said, imperative. I mean, they have to be able to say at the end of this year that, man, look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. There has to be, in my estimation, 5 to 7 of those guys. And I've got one right now that I can lock in and say, that's James Robinson. And he feels like he's going to be fantastic. I don't think you can do it for 7 weeks in the NFL like he's done it, and it be a fluke, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, he's something. I don't know if he's a perennial Pro Bowler, but he's something to build on.
Without a doubt. And sometimes, I want to ask you this question. Would you rather be satisfied with C.J. Henderson coming out and being the absolute man, or Kayvon Chaisson coming out and, playing like a first-round pick? It's like, I get it. I see why. Or are you more impressed and more satisfied with James Robinson playing running back? Because here's where I'm coming from. It's great that James Robinson is going to be the guy going forward, right? Like, anytime you can show up a running back like that means something. But at the same time, I don't want to call you lucky because you still brought him in. Like, to me, and you said it yourself, you've called the 5th, 6th, 7th round in undrafted free agency a crapshoot, if you will.
It is.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was drafted there.
Maybe
so
not the 5th round.
Be kind. Please be kind. But with that being said, there's not a lot of expectations, let's just say.
Yeah.
Okay? So anytime that a guy comes in, well, then you're surprised, and it's like, whoa, check this stud out. Like, all right, cool. Like Telvin Smith, Alan Hearns, James Robinson. Like, it's a pleasant surprise. But don't you think there's more importance for your first-round picks to make sure that they're up to snuff, they're up to par? Because if they're not, the entire draft class really means nothing, and as far as I'm concerned.
There's 16 rookies, I believe, on this roster. Mm-hmm. I think we talked about 15 of them essentially playing and having impact right now, or at least will have an impact. And I'm probably missing someone to get to the 16th. But I think Laviska Shenault's going to be good. I think Devon Hamilton is going to be a good player. I don't know great, by the way, on any of these guys. I think good. I think James Robinson already is a good player. Mm-hmm. I think guys like Daniel Thomas have a real chance to be a good player, and Colin Johnson, real chance to be a good player. And Ben Barch could be a guy that plays in the NFL for 10 years and might not make Pro Bowls, but he's very adequate at the position and depth or in the middle of that line or whatever it might be. The Jaguars cannot turn this thing around if they continue to miss on first-round picks. They can't. So you can have these guys, and I can defend you and say, hey, that was a nice pick. Hey, that was a nice pick. That was pretty good. But if I have to go back to the well and say, you missed at number 9, and you missed at number 20, after you missed at number 3, and 28, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 6, and whatever over the years, you can't flip it, man. You just can't flip it by perennially missing these number 1 picks. You can't. I think the Jaguars have made some nice selections over the years. There's no doubt there's more talent in Jacksonville over the last handful of years than there were in my first handful of years. Absolutely, I think. But the grade sheet goes to round number 1. And when you pick in the top 10, as much as this franchise has picked in the top 10, and you see the results, it ain't good enough. It's the reason we're here. It's the reason we're here right now in Jacksonville at this spot once again, because you miss and miss and miss at where you could have blockbuster guys. Yes, you're going to get fortunate once in a while. You're going to have Yannick Ngakoue, and that's a different story because you find him in the third round. He's a very good player, and then you don't keep him.
Yeah.
But you're going to find Telvin Smith in the fifth round who turns into a Pro Bowler. And that one probably isn't your fault that he's not here anymore. Situational. But my point is you're going to find some talent along the way. Colin Johnson might be a Pro Bowl wide receiver down the road.
Yeah.
Right? DJ Chark looks pretty good in the second round. But I am just convinced, after watching this franchise for the last decade, in the correlation between bad teams and bad misses in the first round, that if you don't hit those, then you ain't winning.
I want you to think about this real quick. Now, obviously, take C.J. Henderson and Caleb Chason out of this because they were drafted this year. If you go back to see how many first-round picks are still on this team, ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the history of the Jaguars organization, all the first-round picks
the numbers are ugly.
You know how many picks are still on this team right now?
Yeah.
2.
Taven
and Josh Allen.
And Josh Allen.
That's it.
Yeah, it's just disgusting, really. I mean, it's an indefensible
You don't win like that.
thing, okay? Yeah. It's indefensible. And so that's why it doesn't, like we did this sheet.
Yeah.
And it almost doesn't matter. 9 and 20. Yeah. 9 and 20. Those guys, C.J. Henderson, I'm sorry, man, but you got to be good. Mm-hmm. Again, I don't need you to go to Canton, but you need to be good. Mm-hmm. Caleb Chason, I need to get to the quarterback and learn how to play this game at this level sooner than later, right? And so that's what these 9 games are. These 9 games are so important for those 2 guys and the rest of this draft class because if it's another flop in the first round and it's a flop with this draft class that was so big, you know what? Dave Caldwell's going to be out of here anyway. Doug Marrone's going to be out of here anyway. But the lingering effect of that is going to be massive, and it just doesn't allow you to flip it. Doesn't matter how many draft picks you have next year. Yeah. Doesn't matter if you have a new regime. Doesn't matter if you have plenty of money. It does not allow you to flip it quick enough over these next couple of years, and we're just going to be talking about the same stuff and going around in a circle.
Let's go back to 2019 and this draft class. Josh Allen, Juwan Taylor, Josh Oliver, Quincy Williams, Raekwon Armstead, Gardner Minshew, Dontavius Russell. 7 players selected. If you were to give that draft back in 2019 a grade right now from what you've seen from him right now, sitting here on a Thursday.
Give me the list again.
Josh Allen, Juwan Taylor, Josh Oliver, Quincy Williams, Raekwon Armstead, Gardner Minshew, Dontavius Russell. If you were to give him that draft class a grade right now from where we sit looking in right now, what are you giving him?
I would give him probably a pretty strong B.
Okay.
And here's why, because I'm not going to be hypocritical in what I just said. Josh Allen might be the best first-round pick you've had. Mm-hmm. He might be the best first-round pick you've made. He might be. Now, in terms of
longevity and just future.
Long view of it.
Because obviously
right?
Jalen Ramsey would be up there.
Jalen Ramsey certainly is great, you know, and for a bit I thought Justin Blackmon was really good, and I know Caldwell didn't pick him, but my point being, I think at times Fournette delivered at times, right? Mm-hmm. Wasn't as bad as everybody said. Point being, Josh Allen, I think, might be here for 8 to 10 years.
Sure.
I think, who was the second round?
Juwan Taylor.
Juwan Taylor. See, I think Juwan Taylor's a pretty good player.
Sure.
He's taken some lumps at times. I thought he would take a bigger step maybe this year, and I think he struggled more than I thought at times. But I still think he's going to be a pretty good player. I think he's a nice foundation piece for this franchise. Mm-hmm. So I take those 2 picks and I say, you know what? I think you hit on them. I think you hit on those guys. Yeah, I don't know about Quincy Williams. I don't know.
We saw flashes.
I know. I just don't know. I think I don't know about the rest, but I also know out of the 6th-round pick, you got more than you ever would have imagined already out of Gardner Minshew, to be honest. But the fact that you even tested him to be your franchise quarterback shows that you got more.
But Brent, it's about what are we talking about right now, though? Are we talking about him being the starter going forward?
No.
So essentially what we're talking about right now is...
But he wasn't a bust of a pick.
No, I understand. But what we're talking about right now is going forward. Right now, we can foresee maybe 2 guys, maybe 3 guys having significant playing time on this team. Maybe. Now, we'll see with
Williams
Quincy
was
Williams.
in the third. See, we just don't, and Josh Oliver really messes this up because we haven't even seen him.
Exactly.
Right?
And Rock Armstead's been dealing with his that stuff, and that's not fair.
But see, I think once you get to, he's a 5th-round guy.
Yeah.
And once you get to those guys, it's like, oh, right, we're not banking on them being good. We're banking on round 1 and round 2 to be good. And we're really banking on probably round 3 to be good.
You should.
So Quincy Williams and Josh Oliver would maybe boost this to an A. Right? If we get some consistent play out of them going forward, I just can't sign up for that yet. Yeah. I can sign up for Josh Allen and Jawan Taylor being good. I actually think that draft's a pretty good draft. Those are how you build it, right? Okay. Because if I can get 2 guys, imagine if the Jags had 2 guys from every draft over the last 5 or 6 years that they could just, bam, these are our blocks. Well, this thing would look pretty damn good.
But the question, I mean, we can go back year by year. I feel like they have had those guys, but they're not here anymore.
Well, that's a different, again, there's a different angle to that of.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying, right? Like Allen Robinson, one of those guys. He's not here.
True.
You know, you can.
But they got enough of those guys over a 3 to 4 year span where they went to the AFC Championship game.
Sure.
And they complemented it with very good free agents. And so my point being, if they get 2 studs out of this draft, and then they hit on James Robinson as well, even though it was a massive 16-player class, to me, I think that might be good enough.
Yeah.
If C.J. Henderson, Caleb Von Chason are really good, and they got lucky with a guy like Robinson,
yeah,
hell yeah, man. You do that for 2 more years on top of free agents and hopefully a franchise QB, you're going to win games.
Do you think those are the 2 studs, or do you think Devon Hamilton might have a chance?
He might. I just don't know.
Might have a little Wallet Says It All later today on the show, too, featuring Devon Hamilton. I like that segue.
All right, we got to take a break. When we come, oh, by the way, let's give away another Donato's $25 gift card. Let's
25 for $25. Oh,
how about that?
3.
That's
3.
from a Gator, too.
Oh, man.
Call
you
her
hate
3.
to see it, Stuart.
He went from 2 to 3.
I like
it. He
it.
figures he can handle it. 904-362-9901. Donato's Pizza Beach Boulevard. Check him out. You get a $25 gift card. Be caller number 3 right now. 904-362-9901.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Thursday. I'm Jake Mitchell. The Jaguars have lost practice squad D lineman Josh Morrow to the Arizona Cardinals. Also in transaction news, defensive tackle Dontari Poe and cornerback Darryl Worley were dropped from the Dallas Cowboys when the boys couldn't find any suitors for a trade. And some controversy in the World Series after Dodgers third baseman Justin Turner tested positive for COVID in the middle of the game somehow, which he was quarantined at the time, pulled directly from the game. After the game, however, he ran onto the field even though security had tried to stop him. He wanted to celebrate with his teammates. Most of the time he wore a mask, some of the time he did not. Here is Jeff Passain, ESPN senior MLB insider.
He essentially said, I'm going out there and nothing's going to stop me. I want to pose with the trophy. I want to be with my teammates. I want to celebrate like somebody who's won the World Series for the first time.
If you're working from home and want to listen to ESPN, tell your smart speaker to play ESPN 690.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Land of Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. If you didn't catch today's episode, I'm not mad at you, not even disappointed, but check out what you missed.
I got lambasted on social media for a small, mild bit of criticism of Gardner Minshew.
Careful now, because you've been in that guy's house, so be careful.
I get crushed when I say too many positive things, moral victories, and I criticize the QB a little bit because that's what I saw.
Check out our podcast on all platforms. Just search ESPN 690. Subscribe to our podcast. Thanks.
What can you get done in 10 minutes? Run a mile? Maybe. Find a date online for this Friday? Easy. What about listing your home for sale in 10 minutes? Can't be possible. With the new Instant List tool from Rex, it is. Rex Instant List allows you to value and list your home with an agent in as little as 10 minutes. With the real estate market getting hotter, time is money. Let's get started. Visit sellwithrex.com. Rex listing agent fees start at just 2%, saving sellers over $23 million in fees since 2015 with absolutely no sacrifice on service. Have 10 minutes to spare? Visit sellwithrex.com to get started or speak to a Rex agent at 833-739-4663. That's 833-739-4663. That's 833-739-4663.
License number, Florida, CQ 1057788. Minimum fee may apply. Rex fully supports the principles of the Fair Housing Act and Equal Opportunity Act.
It's Beards Diamond's incredible 40th anniversary sale. Everything store-wide is on sale, up to an unbelievable 40% off.
Believe it.
Going on now until November 30th.
Now you can go even bigger.
bigger and save thousands.
All designer settings.
Diamond earrings, necklaces, and more.
Even GIA certified loose diamond. Everything in the store is up to 40% off.
These savings will only last until November 30th. Beard's Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center.
Nathan here from Gordon Chevy in Orange Park. We've got our largest inventory of SUVs ever, including the new Tahoes, Suburbans, and 2020 Chevy Trax. This month, get into a new Trax starting as low as $16,900. That's under $17,000 for a brand new SUV. At Gordon, you'll find a huge selection of new Chevys, no bull pricing, and we always do our best to get you out in your new car in about an hour. Gordon Chevy, 5 miles south of the Orange Park Mall, on the money-saving end of planning, or online at gordonchevy.com. Chevy, find new roads.
This is Chris Chambliss, Clay County Supervisor of Elections, with an important elections announcement. As a registered voter, you've made it to the big leagues, and this is your civic Super Bowl. With early voting taking place soon, there is no excuse to not get in the game. For more information on early voting locations or wait times, visit northfloridavotes.com. That's northfloridavotes.com.
If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired and school just isn't for you, earn while you learn by enrolling in the Clara White Mission Workforce Training, designed for 16 to 24-year-olds and no experience necessary. National certifications include culinary arts, OSHA, HAZWOPER, forklifting, environmental training, and more. These programs are customized for low income and disadvantaged. Make your way to the Clara White Mission Training Center at 613 West Ashley Street. Call 904-354-4162 or visit clarawhitemission.org. Has your roof been damaged by recent storms? At Universal Roof and Contracting, you can now get a complimentary roof inspection and save 40% off labor costs. Ask about their upgraded multifaceted warranty, plus take advantage of their no money down and no payments or interest for 12 months with approved credit. Call 1-855-ROOF-HELP or online at universalroof.com. Offer ends on October 31st. License number CCC 1330747, CBC 1258484. Not applicable on insurance jobs.
Hey, does your car still only play CDs? No Bluetooth? No CarPlay? You got an old car, my friend. You know what's better than an old car? A less old car. Get a car or truck that's new to you with a great used car loan from 1-to-1 Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Get pre-approved for a loan and shop at any dealership in town. Get a low rate and get rid of that old car today. Apply online at 1to1fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Nearly 250,000 men and women in the U.S. will be diagnosed with breast cancer this year.
Breast cancer is unacceptable.
Visit Komen.org/unacceptable.
Heart attacks and strokes don't stay home. When seconds count, call 911. The hospital is the safest place to be. Visit heart.org/don't die of doubt. Brought to you by the American Heart Association, locally supported by
Flagler Health Plus.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from Action Sports Jackson, ESPN690. Social distancing doesn't mean disconnecting. If you're working from home, keep tabs on the world of sports and Action Sports Jacks on your smart speaker. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home, play ESPN690.
We know what we're going up against. We're going up against one of the top NFL defenses in the league. And it's not just Jalen Ramsey. It's not just Aaron Donald. We know this isn't going to be any easier from here on out.
Who is that? That was Tua. There you go. How will Tua play? The Rams defense is pretty good. Better be. They spent a heck of a lot of money on it. Dolphins defense. I'd take the under, by the way, in that game. How about that? I don't know what it is, but I'd take the under.
Not too many games in the NFL you say, I'll take the under.
No, I mean, I've been trumpeting defenses dead for the last month, but I would actually take the under in that game because the Rams, even the other day, it was like 24-10, right? Was that the final? The Chicago game?
Something
that
like
sounds right.
that.
Yeah, but it was 24-10 forever. And I think partially that was that McVay was like, hey, we're just going to hand the ball off 3 times, give it back to you. We don't think you can score.
Yeah.
Then they got it back again, handed it off 3 more times, and missed a field goal. Mm-hmm. Didn't score.
That technique did not work against the mean machine, by the way.
The
nice pull.
Ramsey hasn't given up yards at all in a game twice already this season.
Yeah.
Xavier Howard has done that 3 times.
Yeah.
Little
little
battle.
cornerback. Yeah. Well, let's be honest. When you have Aaron Donald, I'm not giving any excuse to Jalen Ramsey. Still a heck of a corner. When you have Aaron Donald, who cares about only one thing, getting the quarterback, doesn't care about how the storyline's going to go, doesn't care about your Disney moment, Tua. All he cares about is getting those quarterback sacks. It makes it easier to be a corner.
I think Tua will play well.
You think so? Against the Rams?
Yeah. Well, because I feel like the trend in the NFL is those early games without tape, you do pretty well. That's what I think. I mean,
Okay.
I what have they been putting in for him over the last? They had a bye week, all that stuff. And I'm not sitting here telling you he's going to throw for 400 yards and 35 points. I'm just telling you, I think they're going to manage him well. I think they're going to put him in a pretty good position to do well.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to do pretty well.
Well, let's make it a little more interesting there, Mr. Martineau. Let's go ahead and say, in terms of, because obviously it's only fantasy football, it's only that matters in this world. In terms of fantasy football, where do you think he's going to finish in terms of like ranking? Like, in terms of the best numbers.
Ooh.
Like, I'm going to give like an over-under cap kind of thing. He has to finish, above a certain number. What are you going to go with? Let's make it juicy.
27.5.
Well, I was going to say, so he's going to be like the 10th best quarterback or 12th best quarterback at least.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, Brett, 27.5. Let's take it down a little bit. That's a lot of points.
I don't know. Say he was going to do well.
Yeah, I mean, okay, you take that right now on your team.
Well, I had 34 last week with Joe Burrow.
That's a good point. Oh, you did have Joe. What happened because Jackson was out?
Yeah. Well, Lamar hasn't got me 34 yet this year.
No, he hasn't.
Lamar's getting like 27.
Yeah.
All right, let's.
So, like, is he gonna be a top 10 quarterback, a top 12 quarterback?
I'm going to say this week he'll be a top 12 quarterback.
Top 12 quarterback. Okay.
All right.
And I'll go against that all day. I think Aaron Donald says, nah, not today.
Okay.
I like it.
Top 12 quarterback in fantasy, right? You're going fantasy numbers.
Well, just like ranking in terms of fantasy production.
So
we'll
even
call
if
it.
he has 20 fantasy points, as long as he was top 12, that's fine.
Now, I'm going to be honest. The fact that he can rush with the ball makes me a little nervous because he's got some wheels, right? But he's not going to use them.
Nah, I mean, he's not really. He's mobile enough.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I actually think coming off the hip stuff, I don't think he'll do a lot of that at all.
True.
But he's not fast guy.
Well, you know what? Hey, can we go top 10? Because there's a lot of guys on their bye, though, too, as well. Keep in mind. It's a big bye week.
I knew that. I was kind of hoping
Murray's
to sneak,
out.
I was kind of hoping to sneak that by.
Well, immediately he gets that Kyler Murray bump because Kyler Murray's out this week. Top 10, Brent. You got to go there. You in or out?
Fine, I'll do it.
Top 10. Don't be that. It's not a big deal. You should get top 10.
You should get top 10.
Ryan Tannehill at Cincinnati. It's going to be looking good. Yeah, okay. We'll see.
Top
All right.
10.
I'm going to put it in. Put it in the books.
All right. Put another bet down. Hey, you know what I watched last night? I was at work. I was doing some work, working on All Access.
Works good.
But it was really weird. Nothing was on. It was like the first time in 3 weeks that nothing's been on. We had the NBA, we had Major League Baseball all the time. You got all these football games on
movies,
Monday,
man.
Tuesday,
Scary
whatever.
movies.
I ain't watching that. But I actually did try to flip on like Netflix on our computer down there, and I couldn't get it to work or whatever.
I had 2 different things I was watching last night, but
yeah, and I wasn't watching what you were watching. That's for
what
damn
are you
sure.
watching?
Big Brother.
after the race.
Oh, and the race.
You watching Big
and
Brother?
I didn't watch the
finale
race.
last night.
Kind of forgot about the race. I know.
Finale last night, and your boy got paid.
Stuart,
he
where's
won the
Kevin
fantasy
Cash?
league.
Did you
he
win it?
drafted the number 1 player and the number 2 player on my team. You're welcome.
But you know what I like?
I won't be bragging about it, but yeah.
I was like a guilty pleasure last night.
Easy
was
Benjamin in my pocket. I don't mind.
That's a good point. Congratulations, though.
Shark Tank.
Oh, that's a good.
Which I mean, I've watched before.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I watched like episode after episode after episode, and like every time I was like, "Oh, this is kind of cool." Like this kind of, I love watching the presentations.
Yeah.
But you know what I like doing even more of? Because a lot of the things are reruns.
Yep.
And so I go back. I'm like, I wonder what they're doing now.
I love doing
Right?
that.
Yeah,
I love looking
right.
at the product later.
No, absolutely.
And it's fascinating.
There's some ones that have made a lot of money.
Well, there's a lot of them that go on there because of the show and the push that they get from there.
Yeah.
Actually, even if they don't jump in with them, they still do really well.
Let me ask you this: if you had a product, doesn't really matter what it is, who are you going with? Like if you had your choice of shark, cubes, you work with the cubes,
probably
Mr. Wonderful.
That'd be
Miss
Mark
Cuban.
Cuban, by the way, the cubes.
Yeah, Mark Cuban.
For the people at home. Just
okay.
I would be apt to go with Cuban. That's just I think.
Yeah.
You know what my favorite part of the show is when they unexpectedly just go off on the people.
Oh, yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And they're like, you're a dumbass.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
But
it'd be like, it's a great presentation. Be like, oh, you sold 75%. You did what?
Yeah.
Like,
get out.
They're like, I can't believe it. Basically, like you had a lottery ticket and you threw it down the garbage.
No, I'm going to be honest, though. I'm going to be honest. Some of the stories are a little over embellished, I feel like sometimes.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, yeah, like, oh, well, I was blind, and then, I got sick, and then I discovered this, and then something else happened in my family, and then I came back, and that was fine, and my family happened something again, and they're like, it's like a heartwarming. I mean, come on. It's business, Brent.
Gardner
Business,
Minshew and the wall that says it all next on ESPN 690.
Everyone here knows Diamonds Direct is the place to go for the best diamonds at the best prices. But did you know that savvy buyers from as far away as Atlanta, Tampa, Orlando, and other cities now come here to Jacksonville to buy their diamonds? These high-end shoppers have discovered that Diamonds Direct has one of America's best selection of large, rare diamonds, from 3 carats to 10 carats, all certified by the GIA, the most reputable and most trusted gem lab in the world. Because of Diamonds Direct's international connections and tremendous buying power, we're one of only a handful of jewelry stores in the U.S. that carries a large selection of rare GIA diamonds. In fact, Diamonds Direct's multi-million-dollar selection includes a stunning array of high-end Riviera necklaces, 20-carat tennis bracelets, and an extraordinary collection of rare precious gemstones, rubies, sapphires, emeralds, and even the really hard-to-find fancy yellow diamonds. Come see why Diamonds Direct right here in Jacksonville is the destination for high-end shoppers all over America. Extraordinary selection, impeccable quality, and unmatched value. Diamonds Direct, off Town Center Parkway next to the Hyatt.
Appliances may work on your schedule, but they quit on theirs. At Atlantic Coast Appliance, we'll get your appliances back up and running in no time at all. Our factory-trained and certified technicians have repaired more than 100,000 appliances over the past 35 years, servicing Jacksonville to St. Augustine and Ponte Vedra with a 90-day warranty on parts and labor, plus a 100% satisfaction guarantee. When your appliances quit, we're ready to get started. For quality repair at a price that's fair, visit AtlanticCoastAppliance.com.
For more than 25 years, the potential for health improvement is seen with each patient that walks through our doors. Healthcare decisions don't have to be confusing. Make Island Doctors your medical practice.
My husband and I have been coming to Island Doctors for approximately 10 years, and we have been very happy with them, and we trust them.
Call us today and schedule a tour of one of our locations near you and take a look at our best wellness program, and welcome home.
Call 1-877-434-4676 or visit islanddoctors.com.
Donato's Pizza is proud to support the Florida State Seminoles. When it comes to pizza for game time, we can suit any taste. From 100 pepperonis on a large loaded edge-to-edge on smoked provolone and Romano, to our delicious and healthy cauliflower crust tomato bruschetta with plant-based sausage, to mariachi chicken, to the founder's favorite, and more. We offer a convenient pickup window or prompt delivery. Just give Donato's a try. That's all we ask. Order at 904donatos.com or call 904-DONATOS on your phone.
It is the home of the Action Sports Jax Dream 18, and make it your home course as well. The golf club at Southampton in North St. Johns County, located off County Road 210. It's family-owned and operated. Southampton is a fun course to play, and the golf club at Southampton offers club membership programs starting at just $79. With its elite practice facilities and player-friendly golf course design, it'll be your gateway to a great time with the family or with your buddies. For information on the membership programs, call the golf club at Southampton, 904-287-PLAY. Again, it's 904-287-PLAY.
Join ESPN 690 in Shopping the 904. When you help businesses here on the First Coast, you're really helping all of us. And it keeps our local economy going. That means jobs. 2020 has been a really tough year, especially for locally owned businesses. And you can make a difference when you shop local. So if you live in St. John's, Duval, Baker, Clay, Nassau, or other surrounding counties, shop local. Shop the 904.
Shop the 904.
It's time for some straight talk. Look, we all drop our phones. It happens. You fumble it, crack it, splash it. Well, Straight Talk Wireless now offers this new Platinum Unlimited plan that includes phone protection. Just $65 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data, plus 20 gigs of hotspot, 100 gigs of cloud storage, and more. All on the best network. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. See Mobile Protect terms and conditions at Asurion.com/Straight Talk. Limitations and exclusions apply.
Sure, the players bring some skill to the game, but if I don't put them in my lineup, who cares? Not me. I'm Eric Rubino, fantasy baseball GM and league runner-up 2 of the last 9 years. I use the progressive Name Your Price tool with options based on my budget. And for a guy that's used to being in control, it fits. Like this runner-up t-shirt. Champ gets a trophy, but you can't wear a trophy. Boom.
Get options based on your budget with Progressive, even if you're not a legend in your own mind. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
I'm Christine Lisi. This is what you need to know. The White Sox hired Hall of Famer Tony La Russa as their new manager. He began his managerial career with Chicago in 1979. The 76-year-old has not been a big league manager since his 16-year tenure with the Cardinals ended in 2011. Baseball's investigation continues into Dodgers third baseman Justin Turner's return to the field to celebrate the team's World Series title after being removed from Game 6 following a positive COVID-19 test. There is one aspect of the investigation that is of particular interest, explains ESPN MLB insider Buster Olney.
How he emphatically rejected the pleas from people who work for Major League Baseball to self-isolate. And that's something that they're going to follow up on. From what I've been told, he essentially told them to bug off.
Buster Olney on Greeny with Mike Greenberg. NFL Patriots receiver Julian Edelman had a precautionary standard knee procedure today. He's expected to be out some period of time, reports ESPN's Adam Schefter. That includes Sunday's game against the Bills. Edelman has been limited all season by his knee.
Want to know what's really scary? Seeing just how much you could have been saving on car insurance by switching to Geico. It's almost as scary as watching your dog growl at the wall and realize he sees something you don't. Get a quote at geico.com.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
To bring in that type of, that caliber of a rusher, especially, where we're at in the season. I think my favorite person in the world is Eric DaCosta. I told him that personally, and the whole defensive staff gave him a standing ovation when he was able to come down and tell us that we got it done.
That's Wink Martindale, defensive coordinator of the Baltimore Ravens. That's how jacked up they were to get Yannick Ngakoue.
Yep. I'm sure Joe Cullen was being heard shouting throughout the entire building.
I don't know if the GMs in Jacksonville have ever gotten a standing ovation in the building.
Calais? Well, I guess you didn't know what Calais was going to bring to the table, right?
No.
I mean, when he left, the
one that reminds me of something that Baltimore just was talking about there is, I always go back to this, okay? Mm-hmm. And this is the beginning. This is the start of the downfall, in my estimation. Now, that's also because I was here, but I mean, the timeline adds up. When they drafted this guy,
please be kind. Don't even go there with it.
When they drafted this guy,
as a 5th round pick,
the defensive line coach jumped up in his office.
I know who it is,
and put his hand through the ceiling tile. That's how excited he was about the pick.
I think I have a feeling.
You know who it was?
I think he's on the wall. If you look closely, Derek Harvey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's Derek Harvey. And again, they thought they were like, oh man, well, by the way,
they also gave a bunch to get him.
The defensive guys are always happy if you get a pass rusher, right? If you get your guy, like a receivers guy was probably happy when they got Justin Blackmon.
Sure,
Mm-hmm. So I understand that, but that's how much they liked Harvey. That's how wrong they were on Derek Harvey.
Well, let me ask you this: you were here for that draft? What was like the temperature of that draft? Right? Because, I don't really know Harvey a lot out of college. Were people hyped up? Like, oh, wow, we got this dude? Because obviously he's a Florida Gator. Or was it kind of like, let's see?
It's a good call. I will say I don't remember
it was so long
enough.
ago. Yeah.
I don't remember. I remember some. Mm-hmm. Okay? There were some, I think Bortles was like a smattering.
Mm-hmm.
I know Justin Blackmon at the Town Center. That was the scene when they moved to the Town Center. It was erupting.
We were excited, man. We were pumped up.
Yeah, I was excited. I watched him play in that. That was the one guy I watched play in a bowl game, and I was like, okay, go get him. Hey, the bowl game's like, whatever. I mean, there's 3 years of tape on these guys, and you're going to put everything in them. I watched him play in that bowl game. I was like, gosh, I hope the Jags
trust me when I say the entire locker room was excited.
The only other guy that I remember watching, and I was like, gosh, this guy's going to be good. And this was during a Florida-Georgia game, was A.J. Green. And I was like, oh, my, if they could get him. And I remember watching him down on that field here in Jacksonville. I was like, this guy is good. Yeah. You know? And to be honest with you, I don't think we were wrong about Justin Blackmon. We just didn't know everything that was about to come with it.
Sure.
But it just is so so I don't know the temperature. What I remember about that draft most that year is they had gone to the playoffs previously. And Tom Brady lit them up in the postseason, went 26 for 28. That was the storyline. And they said, they basically thought they were one player away. And so if you do a timeline and go from we are thinking we're one player away from taking the next jump to being a championship team to what then transpired in this downhill spiral, here's the lesson learned. You are never one player away. Like you cannot, that cannot be your approach. Your approach is never you're one player away. And so I don't think like the Ravens might be excited about Jan. But Jan's not like the cherry on top that now gets them a Super Bowl championship. You can't think that way. He's another piece, much like Marcel Darius was in 17, another piece. But you can't think that this one guy has put us, because that's a bad mentality. That's what I learned from that draft.
It's a great call.
And from everything that's transpired since. Because that move, that first failure of Harvey and what they gave up for him and everything that transpired really since, but over like a 5-year period especially, has set the table for this tornado that hasn't stopped spinning in the wrong direction.
Look at Brent Martineau putting his resume on LinkedIn for GM. I like it, man.
Yeah.
It's a great point, though.
I don't know the right answer. I'm just saying I know that's been the downfall of it.
No, I'm saying
that started the downfall of it.
I think you are right if you're a GM or you're a coach and you have the mentality like, hey, all we need is this guy and we're good to go, right? I think if you base yourself on that, it's going to come back and bite you. I think we share that same opinion.
Well, let's talk about the most important position that can change it. You can be this player away from changing your franchise. One player can change your franchise, and it has to be a QB. And the Jags gave Gardner Minshew that chance this year, and it hasn't worked out so far. And the big news of the day is, and we've confirmed this after an Adam Schefter report that happened late this morning, that Gardner Minshew took x-rays. They found a couple of fractures in his thumb and also, what's the word? Ligament
damage. Yep.
Thank you. Ligament damage.
Think yourself.
And so he's got a beat up right hand, his throwing hand. And it's something that he initially hurt, according to Schefter, back against Houston. And that would have been on October 11th. And he's played with over the last few weeks. And let's be honest, he's played poorly for the most part. The Jags have too, but he has too. He's missing some wide open throws. His accuracy has gone way down. He's got some eye-popping what was that kind of moments with the football. And you have to start to wonder, as we did at the top of this show, if you missed, we talked a half hour about it. Should he have played? Will he be able to play coming out of the bye? Does he even need a procedure? And who will be next up? Luton or Glennon. So those are kind of the questions that we've discussed and talked about. Yep. And to be honest with you, folks, we can't answer. It's all speculation. I think it's going to be Glennon if he can't go. If there's a procedure, that means he's probably out some 3 to 6 weeks and he goes on IR. If there isn't a procedure, that means they think he can play through it. How significant is the break? I got to believe this is hairline kind of stuff, because if not, I just don't see how you could play through a pretty significant break over the last couple of weeks, unless it got damaged worse against the Chargers. Yeah. So there's just a lot of things we don't know, other than the fact that he's beat up right now in his throwing hand, which obviously is going to impact him as a quarterback. We believe that he knows this opportunity is huge. And I think we didn't talk about this enough, probably at the top of the show. But I think this actually puts an exclamation point on how much he might have been even pressing, because he knows this is such a big moment.
He's not a dummy. He knows that he's got 16 games. And when it starts going downhill a little bit, in week 3 and week 4, and you're not winning games and the pressure builds, right? And you add your own pressure and you're like, man, this is my time. I got to do more. I got to get us out of this thing. So what do? You press. And now you're hurt. Oh, I can't come out. I got to play through this. I can't let anybody take my job. I just think that's what we've seen with our eyes. Forget the numbers. We've seen with our eyes a Gardner Minshew that knows this is such an important time in his career. It's such an important season, doesn't want to let go, and he's actually pressing and playing through maybe a significant injury because of it.
Yeah, and it begs the question, has he done himself a disservice and also his team a disservice? Now, once again, I'm not a doctor. We don't know the exact specifications of how bad the hand is, but one could assume if it's like a hairline fracture, maybe if you would have reported right away, you would have sat out a little bit. Well, you could be back right now feeling full health going in the bye week. I don't know the severity right now of the injury. But at the end of the day, listen, it goes to show you just how much it means to him, number one, and how much is on the line here, right? Like, there's a lot of things on the line, brother. There's a lot of jobs on the line. Obviously, I think Doug Marrone's job's on the line. Dave Caldwell's obviously on the line. I think Shad Khan's reputation, which has taken a hit, I feel like, in the city of Jacksonville, that's on the line. And finding out who your franchise quarterback, if he indeed is going to be the guy, that's on the line as well. So it's crazy for a team that, or I guess for a season that didn't have a lot of expectations. It's probably going to be one of the most important seasons in franchise history. You know
well,
what
it
I'm
is
saying?
For specific people.
Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly.
Well, it is anyway.
Yeah, it is
every
in
year
general.
is important. And again, if they don't do well and they end up with a big-time quarterback, and that's the result, well, then that did make it one of the most important seasons in franchise history. So I don't think you're wrong, and I don't know if it – we've said it, right? I've said it. The thing I use to say how big of a year this is for Gardner Minshew is I say if he's sitting on a lottery ticket, and it could be a $100 ticket or it could be a $100 million ticket. And while that's not factual – that's my point. That's how dramatic it is. He's either got a chance to be the guy for an NFL franchise, or he might be a backup. And he might not get another chance. So he might, but he might not get another chance down the road, or at least for some time. And he's walking around. This is like you walking around on a windy day and a windy month and a windy fall, and you don't get to cash that in and find out which one it is until January.
Yeah.
And he's walking around with that thing, and is it $100 or it is $100 million? And he actually has some say in how big it is, but he's got to hang on through some of these turbulent times in that windy day. And right now, it's not going well. The Winds are winning.
Yeah, and I like that. And listen, it is unfortunate, and I'm not going to make up any excuses. Like, listen, injuries in the NFL, they happen. But I think the biggest takeaway, at least that I had of this season, is guess what? There's no excuses for Gardner Minshew this year, right? That's what I've said it many times because, well, you have the offensive coordinator who seems to know what he's doing. You have the offensive weapons around you. They drafted around you. You got a good running game. Offensive line is gelling better than it did last year. Like, all the pieces were in place. This thing was in your hands, and unfortunately, one of those hands is broken.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, once again, and I said it myself. I said it. I don't want to sit here week 16, or the last week of the season and say, well, is Gardner Minshew the guy? Because do we get a proper evaluation? No, I'll make an argument and say a broken hand, that does not give you the proper evaluation. But at the end of the day, it's all about the wins and losses. And if Minshew can improve on that, and I said it before, this is a cutthroat business. It's a cutthroat business and a performance-based business. And sometimes injuries, while they should be the main thing, they aren't. It comes down to wins and losses. And I just feel like, unfortunately, if the Jaguars continue this downward spiral of losing, Minshew is going to be on the outside looking in next year.
Well, yeah, and what I probably should have done to add to my lottery ticket is say he has to hold it in the wind with his hand. That is broken right now. That's what he's got, And so it's there's a lot, though. That is a lot. I try to put it in that context because can you really imagine having something that big, right? And that's what he's faced with. It's internal pressure. It's external pressure. It's the opportunity of a lifetime for him. And unfortunately, unlike a lot of players, he's not going to get a bunch of rope because of his 6th-round pick, because of some of the other deficiencies. He's not. He's got a smaller window than a lot of other people. Let's get to Steven. He's jumping in probably on the Minshew front. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. What's up, man?
Hey, not too much. How about you guys?
We're good.
Yeah, well, you called it, Brent, about the Minshew situation. Now, I want to get your opinion because I agree with our awesome syndicate leader there in the chair. I would prefer go Luton. I've actually said that before. But also you mentioned the draft. Now, I want to paint a scenario and get your opinion. Let's say they put Luton in ahead of Glennon, which I would do as well. Let's say they put him in and he's actually really good. We know he can sling the ball. And I've seen him. He's actually very accurate with the deep ball. Let's say he's actually good, and he has all the intangibles, being 6'6", got powerful arm. I've seen him run the ball as well. Now, let's say he's really good, and he has the potential to maybe be the guy. I know the scenario last year was the same with Minshew, but would you consider, instead of using the early pick for a quarterback, maybe building around this kid if he shows he's really good, that Jay Gruden thinks he's good?
Thanks, Stephen. Appreciate the call. I get your question. I understand what you're asking, and I would say absolutely not.
Nope. No, it's hard to justify if Trevor Lawrence is there, if Justin Fields is there, and you're going to say, you know what, let's go with the guy from Oregon State. Can't justify
That's what this year was for. In fact, if you want to now look, okay, take a peek at what happened. And this is still very preliminary. But the Jaguars, could they have, if they didn't want to go with Minshew, and they already knew, and they said, hey, you know what, long term, this isn't it. Mm-hmm. Could they have packaged some of those picks and jumped up ahead of the Chargers to get Justin Herbert? Could they have, right?
Yeah.
Well, so you're going to ask the same situation and say, okay, we're going to take a flyer for another year on a guy? No. We're going to take another flyer?
Especially with the new coaching staff, possibly? Absolutely not.
No. So it's not going to happen. I understand the question. I appreciate the question, but it's not going to happen. Yeah. I think he could go lights up. Jake Luton could come in here, and he could go lights out. And he could go, well, I mean, if he went like 6-3, but he could go lights out. And you're not going to get those guys now, so that doesn't make sense. He could play very well, and you could lose all these games. It's not going to make a difference. Yeah. He could throw 15 touchdowns and 3 picks, and it's not going to make a difference. They would still draft one of those guys.
Without a doubt. And at best, you draft the first rounder, you bring him in. Maybe there's a quarterback competition at best, but overall, you're drafting a first rounder. I'm going to be honest, though. Syndicate leader Austin Lane sounds fantastic.
I'm telling you, I mean, how much do you pay that guy?
Maybe like a syndicate sensei.
I think he started with Brent, you had a great point, so I think he hit both of you guys
so
on that one.
Who's really who's cut the checks?
That's a good point. I mean, his last name, I think, is Boston. So
Syndicate Sensei Austin.
Sensei, very good.
Syndicate Sensei.
I wasn't actually.
I think we're going to go with that.
Wait, a couple things before we go to break.
Shirts. We got to make shirts.
Yeah, if they'll let us make shirts,
I think it's
we'll make shirts.
I
think might just make shirts.
Better sounds. Go off the grid. Yeah, okay. That's why we're a syndicate.
Yeah. I want to ask you, when we had Michaela Mayer on, you mentioned Muay Thai.
Muay Thai.
I was going to ask you this, but I didn't know if I was knowledgeable enough.
The art of the limbs, yeah, you should.
Well, I understand, but there's a little mix.
Peanut sauce.
There's a little mix of that with MMA, right?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get off Stewart's
Well, you haven't been around Stewart long enough. I just ignore Stewart.
I know that was good. I guess I feel bad for laughing at it, but it was good. Yeah, it's fun in MMA a lot because anytime you see somebody throw a knee or an elbow, which are two very powerful weapons, obviously, that is Muay Thai. Okay. So kickboxing, obviously, it's boxing mixed with like the roundhouse kicks.
Yeah.
Muay Thai is say you badmouth Kyler Murray. I got upset. I put you in the clinch. I take a knee to your eye socket. That's what the knees. That's what the Muay Thai knees are.
Hey, hope we're recording that because that sounded like a threat.
I think it was just a fact. I don't know.
That sounded like a threat. My point being, though,
that's a spoiler, by the way.
Why did she go into boxing then instead of going to like MMA?
Well, she said though, right? Because the gym was close by.
She started that.
Yeah, but then I hear you.
Would that have been a more natural?
Yeah, it was hurting her feet too, though.
Yeah,
true. Would that have been a more natural move?
It's MMA. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
because to be fair, so if you ever take a Muay Thai stance, So there's a reason. There's a couple schools.
So you're
of
about to
thought
do
here.
the Thriller dance there for a second.
So listen. So there's a school of thought that says Muay Thai, their stances have no place in the UFC or MMA because the stance is straight up, right? Because you're using your striking. Well, if you have a Muay Thai stance, grappling can take that down all day, right? Because you don't have a base to kind of counter grapple.
There is no grappling in Muay Thai.
There's no grappling in Muay Thai, obviously, yeah. So it's more on your toes and stuff like that. This is how they stand. This is the Muay Thai stance. So, she said, I guess her feet were hurting, and I guess this was a transition.
All right.
You know what's also rare about her, too, we didn't mention? She got in the sport late.
Yeah, she's 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's rare. I'm just saying.
I noticed that too, and I looked her up, her age. One other thing, I do this a bunch. We're just going to do it real quick. Marone told us at the beginning of the year a few things.
Yeah.
And I think they are now over-promising, under-delivering on these things.
That was a lie, yeah.
Said their offensive line was going to be better than we thought. In the first few weeks, it was.
Yeah.
It's really regressing, in my opinion. See it not playing well the last few weeks?
Yeah, I agree with that, but I also agree with if it's 4th and 1, I trust that offensive line and James Robinson getting first down.
Okay.
I couldn't do that last year. So I think it has gotten better than last year.
Now, I can give you a 4th and 1 where they try to trick play, and I can give you a 3rd and 4th and 1 the other day that they didn't get it.
That's not the offensive line's fault, though.
That was a little more play call.
Yeah, now the one with Minshew, it is what it is.
He promised they'd be resilient. I thought we finally saw that, but we went a month, man, without seeing a resilient football team. We finally saw it in the second quarter the other day.
Yeah.
And then the other one is they said they'd stop the run. And they went through a 3-week stretch where they couldn't stop the run.
Yeah.
So I feel like, and this happens when you lose 6 in a row, and he said other things too, but it was like he was excited about those kind of things. And when you're excited about that part of your football team, even though you're probably not the most talented football team, and that stuff starts going sideways, well, you get 6 losses in a row.
Yeah.
Hey, Devon Hamilton had his best game as a pro. 3rd-round pick for the Jags. We take you to the wall that says it all. Coming up next on ESPN 690.
Power of positivity coming at you, everybody. Let's go.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Scattered showers through this evening. You might even hear a rumble of thunder, then clearing and turning cooler after midnight as we drop into the mid to upper 50s. Partly to mostly sunny, breezy, and cooler, but nice for Friday. Highs around 75. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jack's Chief Meteorologist, Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. It's Beard's Diamonds' 40th anniversary sale. Save up to 40% off store-wide till November 30th.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
What can you get done in 10 minutes? Run a mile? Maybe. Find a date online for this Friday? Easy. What about listing your home for sale? In 10 minutes? Can't be possible. With the new Instant List tool from Rex, it is. Rex Instant List allows you to value and list your home with an agent in as little as 10 minutes. With the real estate market getting hotter, time is money. Let's get started. Visit sellwithrex.com. Rex listing agent fees start at just 2%, saving sellers over $23 million in fees since 2015 with absolutely no sacrifice on service. Have 10 minutes to spare? Visit sellwithrex.com to get started or speak to a Rex agent at 833-739-4663. That's 833-739-4663. That's 833-739-4663.
License number, Florida, CQ 1057788. Minimum fee may apply. Rex fully supports the principles of the Fair Housing Act and Equal Opportunity Act.
Are you now worried about how to continue providing the same level of service to your customers? Many service-oriented businesses are struggling to create new ways to maintain their customers. What happens to those that haven't been able to adapt? At SCORE, we can help by offering advice and resources through a vast library of online information and timely webinars. Since 1964, SCORE has assisted more than 11 million entrepreneurs and small business owners. Go to our website, jacksonville.score.org, to see how we can help you today.
In the 4 decades that Beards has been in business, never have they had a sale with discounts this big.
Believe it, because Beards Diamonds will never be beat on price.
Save up to 40% on everything store-wide.
Shop the largest inventory in North Florida.
All GIA certified loose diamonds, engagement rings, pendants, all designer settings, on sale up to 40% off.
Now through November 30th at the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Back to school also means back to Friday Night Football. Get to the game in style in a new Honda from Honda of the Avenues. Their incredible summer clearance event is going on now to make room for the new 2021 models. Find great deals and haul the whole team in a new Odyssey, Pilot, or CRV. Plus, Hondas are safe and reliable, just what you and your team need. Don't miss kickoff. Stop by the Honda Giant on Phillips Highway just a few yards south of the Avenues to see all their inventory, or start looking right now at HondaoftheAvenues.com.
Slip and falls can be embarrassing, leaving you in pain and feeling like you've lost control. I'm Eli Anajar from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. After a fall, document the scene by taking photographs and make sure to get medical attention for any injuries you may have. If you've been injured in a slip and fall accident, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
Donato's Pizza is proud to support the Florida State Seminoles. When it comes to pizza for game time, we can suit any taste. From 100 pepperonis on a large loaded edge-to-edge on smoked provolone and Romano, to our delicious and healthy cauliflower crust tomato bruschetta with plant-based sausage, to mariachi chicken, to the founder's favorite, and more. We offer a convenient pickup window or prompt delivery. Just give Donato's a try. That's all we ask. Order at 904donatos.com or call 904-DONATOS on your phone.
Hey, it's Goose from Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Now, I know there's a ton of ways you can listen to the show, but did you know one of the ways is through a smart speaker? Yes, the Google Home, the Amazon Alexa. It's pretty easy to do. Just tell either of them to play ESPN 690. Try it out weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m., and you can listen to Action Sports Jacks.
Brent Martineau.
How many push-ups did you do in 3 minutes? Did you try the challenge?
Austin Lane.
I don't need lactic acid build up when I'm in fight camp. Brent, you kidding me? Take my word for it. More than you.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
There's another sack.
Devon Hamilton, his second sack of the day.
Eat, big fella. My goodness, check out the explosiveness that he's able to provide. Just beats the guard, gets to the quarterback. No quit in that. That's that bull rush right there. He gets by him, and the power that he's got is palpable. 6'4", 210, the senior playing his best football of his life.
Palpable.
Palpable is a good word.
Not bad.
I think it's Dilla's birthday today.
Is it?
That's what I saw on Twitter. I don't know if they were making it up or not.
Could be a could be a liar chain or what?
Never know with Twitter.
Oh, I thought you said you never know with Dilla.
Never know with Dilla.
There you go. The underground king.
So I'm saying happy birthday to him anyway.
Oh, that's nice of you. I thought you're not into doing that stuff.
What? Saying happy birthday to people?
Well, yeah, like the whole social media happy birthday stuff. Or is it just not for yourself?
It's the Facebook one.
Oh, the Facebook one. Okay.
Well, the Facebook one.
Is there a difference, though? Or?
Well, because they almost like, the reason why I say it that way is because they make you do it.
Ah.
It's almost like you wake up every morning, you check Facebook, and
you're
you're
not
like,
be a sheep and
yeah, it's like, don't forget to wish Weber happy birthday.
Yeah.
If not, you're a jerk.
Yeah. Is this one of those, that Netflix show? Is that one of those things?
Social Dilemma?
Yeah.
That's really not tied into that.
Okay.
Although it might be.
Yeah.
Because now, like, I've turned a little bit. Now I like the attention on my birthday.
Yeah.
I used
really?
to hate it.
Okay.
Like, I almost changed my birthday because you'd get
birthday
all these
month
things.
now
right?
for Brent Martineau. Yeah, it's Brent's birthday month.
Now I kind of like it.
Okay.
And I like the attention.
I got you. Yeah, I mean, I'm good. I don't need it, so.
All right, let's go to the wall that says it all. We don't have these break structure now. We don't get as much time.
It's not a big deal.
So let's do it.
All right, everybody, come on with us as we go to the land of sunshine and rainbows and the power of positivity. As we break down a positive play today on the wall that says it all, we're going to be featuring Devon Hamilton. Devon Hamilton, obviously a guy who drafted in the third round. Kind of a, I don't want to say an unsung guy, but right, I mean, he was in the depth. I mean, you had Gunter here, you had Al Woods here. Obviously, those guys go down And then, you trade away Calais Campbell, and Taven Bryan is doing what Taven Bryan's doing. So Hamilton's kind of come into his own a little bit, and there's been a lot of good. There's been a little bad. But I think overall, he's a guy that he demands that you keep on watching him, right? Because right now, for what I see from Devon Hamilton, intrigue. I'm intrigued.
Why?
I want more. Because, Brent, my question to you, what was the one thing that I used to always praise about, probably even more than Kyler Murray, what did I praise about with Marcel Darius?
First step.
Can't teach it. My man can't teach it. You either have it or you don't. You can teach hand placement. You can teach the proper steps. But do you have that first step get off? And right now, what I've seen from Devon Hamilton, especially what we're going to be highlighting here in this Chargers game, Devon Hamilton has the first step.
All right, so that's important.
He has the Marcel Darius first step. Maybe he went to the Marcel Darius Academy of First Steps. But
so, are you comping that?
Didn't comp it. Just said he has the shades of a Marcel Darius first step.
I like that.
All right.
I mean, by the way, he's like Marcel Darius size too, right?
Yes.
He's taller, actually, I think.
Yep.
Because Marcel isn't that tall. Marcel's maybe Marcel Darius is probably like 6'2", 6'1".
I was going to say 6'2".
Okay. Well, Devon Hamilton's a 6'4", 310 guy.
Taller.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So let's get into it. Stuart, we got the. I just have to ask you.
Does
just make
height
sure.
matter on the defensive interior?
Ask Calais Campbell.
Well, it helps. I'm saying, does it matter?
But I mean,
yeah, good point.
Aaron Donald is what, 5'11"?
Yeah, good point.
Calais Campbell's what, 6'8"? They're both pretty good.
Yeah, true.
All right, cool. All right, so first slide. We got, listen, start of the third quarter, right? Jaguars down by 2. You need to stop here, right? The Jaguars, they opted to receive. Actually, they lost the coin. Wait, did they win the toss?
They lost the coin toss.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
And then they got the ball.
So they got the ball.
And we know how that turned out. It's part of the coin toss. Anyways, so they come out on defense second half. They need a big stop here, right? You got to set the tempo. Scripted plays possibly you can see here. But essentially what we got here is, it's bunch formation, Brent. Like we want to talk about the bunch formation. Chargers are doing that right now. So what we call this is a 2x2. So you got 2 receivers on the left side, 2 receivers on the right side. One of those receivers on the right side being Hunter Henry, a tight end, right? So they set the strong side to the right side, and the weak side is to the left side. So we got Devon Hamilton right now playing a nose technique. Now, I've watched Devon Hamilton play in college. He's kind of done it all. He's kind of a jack of all trades. He's played in a 3-4. He's played a 3 technique. He's played a nose technique. I like a guy that's versatile. Right now, we're breaking Devon Hamilton down, playing the nose technique, playing that one shade, if you will, on the center. So we can see it on the screen here. Stuart, let's go to slide number 2, if you'd be so kind.
That was quick. We're going to go into slide 2.
Yeah, I mean, what do you want me to break down?
I'm
It's a
just,
formation.
I always like to remind the listeners and viewers at this time that this is the wall that says it all. We do it weekly with the Jaguars. Break down a play, a moment, a player. And you can watch it on the video feeds, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. And you can see the illustrations. But you also can follow along with your ears if you're listening on ESPN in your car, ESPN690.com, or any of the audio apps.
So now, listen, guys, we can't play video for copyright purposes. I don't want to get fined. Brent doesn't want to get fined either. So it's hard to showcase just how good his first step is on this play. But I can do it anyways, right? So as we see in this slide, Brent, what is noticeable to you right now? And obviously we have an inside run happening. It's actually more of a stretch play, right? Because we see the Chargers here, they're getting more horizontal than they are vertical. This is a basic run-of-the-mill NFL kind of run play. This is where the NFL is going right now. Stretch plays, where you don't really have a design gap. You just go run towards that space. Whatever opens up, you adapt off that and then you run. But what are you seeing right now from Devon Hamilton?
I tell you what, Devon Hamilton, I don't know what the step looked like.
Yeah.
But within a couple of frames of video, he's already pushed center back, or maybe that's the left guard. Might be a left tackle even.
That's the center.
Center.
I got you.
He's already pushed back. Mm-hmm. He's on almost his heels. Mm-hmm. His arms extended. He's now crossed the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
So he's gained a lot of ground in a short time.
Yeah, keep in mind, Pouncey, the original center, has been out for the year.
True.
He's on IR. So they have a backup center in Dan Feeney. Nevertheless, though, listen.
Hey, Feeney was a draft pick.
Yeah, but let's be honest. This is a rookie, by the way, and Devon Hamilton getting some extended reps. So I'm still going to give him his prop. I'm not taking anything away from it. So you see here, you see the arm extension.
Oh, I love it.
Right? And this is what I'm talking about right here. Brent, you're a real big guy. You bench press all the time, I'm sure, right? I mean, you got to fill in that shirt somehow.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this
question. Not a big guy, and I don't bench press a lot, but
okay.
I appreciate the question.
Well, let's see how much you actually do lift weights then. So, Brent, if you're going to bench press somebody, or if you're going to bench press some weight, let's say, I'm sure you're putting a 5 on your side and having fun with it, whatever the case may be. Where are you stronger, or where do you feel it's lighter? When you go down to your chest and you push it up, or when you have it extended to the top? Where do you feel stronger?
Oh, it's at the top.
At top, hands down,
Absolutely.
right? So right now we have the
I
case
usually
of
sit there for 10 seconds to wait to go down to my chest.
really max it out and rip those tendons up a little bit. So with that being said, we have Devon Hamilton here with the arm extension. This is how I can showcase that he had a good get off. Because if you look at where the center is right now, on the line of offensive linemen, he's way in the back.
Yes.
It's almost like the running back right now is going to collide with him because he's getting he's getting pushed so far back.
I think the line of scrimmage was like on the 44.
Correct.
And so the center's now on the 47.5-yard line.
In a split second, by the way, mind you. Exactly. And what we have here, and I love to see it, we have arm extension. So this does a couple of things. If you're watching at home, you can see this clearly. Devon Hamilton right now has his right arm extended to, like you're bench pressing, to the top. So this is where Devon Hamilton is strongest right now. The center is basically at his mercy. The center can do nothing right now because of the arm extension. Here's why it's a great play by Devon Hamilton, and more of a veteran play, an experienced play by Devon Hamilton. He's got his other arm free. So he has one arm extended, other arm free. This does a couple things.
He's going to club him.
This does a couple things. Now keep in mind, some coaches would say, my coach back in the day would say, he's breaking a cardinal rule right now and looking in the backfield. You never look in the backfield because your eyes don't always take you where you want to go. And if you're peeking in the backfield, that takes away from your technique. You get put on your back. Doesn't matter for Devon Hamilton. You know why? Because his arm is extended and he has a feel for this play right now. He knows exactly where this play is going to go. So being an athlete that he is, and let's get to slide number 3 here in a second, being an athlete that he is, he extends his arm, he looks in the backfield, and now boom, slide number 3.
That's a good rush, by the way, by the Jags in general.
Yeah.
But good push.
Yep. So I think we got slide number 3 up now. I know there's always a little delay, so I got to, adjust.
It'll be happening.
So now, as we can see here, Devon Hamilton has shed his guy with one arm and actually goes across, so we call this cross-facing, goes across the guard's face, sheds him, and makes the tackle. So essentially what we have here in Devon Hamilton is a guy who explodes off the ball, extends his arm, looks in the backfield, does more than is asked of him, and goes in another gap, pushes the play back inside, and he makes the tackle. This is a classic example, and Calais Campbell used to always say this, Brent, you told me before. This is a classic example of not being a robot. He's being an athlete. He understands that his guy is dominated. He understands where the ball is going to go. He cross-faces the center. He says, this is going to go to the gap, and then the running back goes back to another gap, and obviously the Jaguars swarm, and you're good to go. This is a classic example right now of what the Jaguars need to do more of. When you have your guy beat, that means you can be an athlete. That means you can kind of let who you are show a little more, and you don't have to play in the confines of the system. The problem that we've been seeing a lot, though, Brent, is the fact that when these guys take it upon themselves to be, quote-unquote, athletes and, kind of play outside the system a little bit, they're not in proper spots to do so. Devon Hamilton was in a key spot. He did a great job of exploding off the ball, getting the center in the backfield. And at that point, you can do whatever you want. You can't do no wrong. That's exactly what happened here on this play. And it's I think it's a 2-yard tackle for loss. Devon Hamilton, and I think Quincy Williams, somebody else comes to clean it up as well.
All right. Beautiful play by Devon Hamilton, who wears number 52, which also is fascinating to me along that defensive front.
For sure.
You mentioned he lined up at the nose technique, right?
Yeah.
And Marcel Darius, who we try to, not comparing him to, but we talk about a little bit.
Yeah.
Darius could play that technique and the 3 technique.
Yes, sir.
Do you think Devon Hamilton has that kind of flexibility, or will he make a living at the nose?
So what I just broke down and what made Marcel Darius so great and why the Jaguars struggled so much when Marcel Darius got hurt with that core injury, and all of a sudden Christian McCaffrey's running for 500 yards, it seems like, and it's just back-to-back 200-yard rushing days for opposing offenses. It's because of the first step. If you and I can't reiterate this enough. You cannot teach the first step. If you have it, you can play the 1 technique, you can play the 3 technique, and heck, if you're really in a pinch, put him out there as a defensive end. Now, obviously, his body size, his wingspan, it's not conducive to a defensive end technique, but I'll tell you who it reminds me of. Tyson Alualu, all right? Now, say what you want about Tyson Alualu. I get sometimes he gets a lot of hate because where he was drafted. But that guy, in terms of his footwork and his first step, there was times where Tyson Alualu played outside. Obviously, he was more of a 3 technique, but he also played defensive end. What is Tyson Alualu playing now? Nose technique. Why? Because that first step has never left him, right? If you have the first step, that is the ground base. That is the foundation that you can build a house on. And right now, like Tyson Alualu, he's built a skyscraper. He's made a lot of money for himself. He's doing a great job. I'm not ready to call Devon Hamilton Marcel Darius yet. But what I've seen from this play and other plays in this game is the fact that he has a decent foundation. If he keeps improving on it, who knows what the limit's going to be for him.
Ramon on YouTube wants to know, Austin, if you think the Jags will still need to draft 2 defensive tackles in this upcoming draft.
It's a good call. It's a good call. Listen, you can never have you can never have enough too many defensive tackles here. Taven Bryan, we'll see what that situation happens with him. I think he's got another year left, or is he done?
No, he has another year.
Got another year left. We know what Taven Bryan's bringing to the table right now. Dwayne Smoot, where's he sitting?
I think this is, again, a contract year for Smoot. I thought it was last year, too, and I think he just signed a minimal deal. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But I tell you, I think I still feel like I see him flash a lot.
Sure.
So I kind of like Dwayne Smoot.
But and so
you got a couple of guys.
You got a couple of guys, and to answer the question, it really all depends on the scheme coming in, right? Where if this coaching staff is indeed going to be gone at the end of the season, and a new coaching staff comes in, obviously there's going to be a proper evaluation, and maybe they throw some different kind of defenses out there. Like I want a 3-4 defense, so we'll see where it goes from there. But you can never have too many defensive tackles. So yeah, I think they address it. Maybe 1 or 2.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, a couple other thoughts, kind of wide-ranging in sports. The big story this week was kind of Tampa and analytics.
Yeah.
I wanted to just ask a question about analytics with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And also, the Jaguars are not the only troubled organization, if you will, when it comes to winning.
Yeah.
Who's in more trouble long-term than the Jags? Or are the Jags kind of king of that hill because they haven't really won much anyway? But we are seeing an NFL where teams are able to flip-flop. I've mentioned it. The Bills, the Raiders, the Titans, the Rams, they've kind of done that. They've lost a lot this century, to be honest with you. And now they're flipping it around a little bit, and it looks like they're going to stay pretty competitive, not just a one-year run. Can the Jags do that? What other teams could do that in the NFL? That's how we'll wrap up a Thursday edition of Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Live, local, loud coming up next. Don't forget to vote for our Honda of the Avenue's Athlete of the Week on ESPN690.com.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Thursday. I'm Jake Mitchell. The Jaguars have lost practice squad D lineman Josh Morrow to the Arizona Cardinals. Also in transaction news, defensive tackle Dontari Poe and cornerback Daryl Worley were dropped from the Dallas Cowboys when the boys couldn't find any suitors for a trade. And some controversy in the World Series after Dodgers third baseman Justin Turner tested positive for COVID in the middle of the game somehow, which he was quarantined at the time, pulled directly from the game. After the game, however, he ran onto the field even though security had tried to stop him. He wanted to celebrate with his teammates. Most of the time he wore a mask, some of the time he did not. Here is Jeff Passain, ESPN senior MLB insider.
He essentially said, I'm going out there and nothing's going to stop me. I want to pose with the trophy. I want to be with my teammates. I want to celebrate like somebody who's won the World Series for the first time.
If you're working from home and want to listen to ESPN, tell your smart speaker to play ESPN 690.
Hey everyone, this is Brett Martineau from Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Hope you catch the show Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 10 different platforms. But if you missed the show today, you missed this. Are the Buffalo Bills for real?
I think they are. I mean, I've been a big Josh Allen supporter. I mean,
how about his start?
Oh, yeah. Hey, I'm not surprised.
I guess Jalen Ramsey wasn't right about him being trash. Subscribe to the podcast and check the show out on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Get the podcast daily. All you have to do is search ESPN 690 in your podcast app.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you.
Okay.
Then you need to be online where they look for you.
Online, huh?
Then you need to be involved in the community. Then you need to...
Whoa. I don't have time for all that. I need to run my business. Alexa, can you help me find someone that can help me with online marketing?
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions, your local marketing team putting you at the top of mind. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today and let us take your business to the next level so you can get back to running it. Local Solutions, powered by Cox Media Group. Marketing solved.
As the seasons change, there's one thing that never changes: the importance of clean drinking water. A Connecticut system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. Now that's clean, and that's also why our family has a Connecticut system from CGC Water. Yours can too. Right now, CGC Water is offering a free A200 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Connecticut Premier softener. Connecticut Premier softeners are non-electric and have twin tanks, making them super efficient, saving you money. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Schedule your free water test today and get peace of mind knowing your family's water is safe water. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Remember, this is a limited time offer, a free A200 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Connecticut Premier softener. Financing available with approved credit. Just call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia, CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
Nathan here from Gordon Chevy in Orange Park, your Silverado headquarters. We've got over 50 Silverados in stock and ready to go. And during Truck Month, take up to $7,000 off a new Silverado, plus get a $1,000 accessory allowance to customize your new truck. At Gordon Chevy, you'll find a huge selection of new Chevys, no bull pricing, and we always do our best to get you out in your new car in about an hour. Find us 5 miles south of the Orange Park Mall on the money-saving end of Blanding Boulevard or online at GordonChevy.com. Chevy, find new roads.
Nothing is certain except death and taxes. And your appliance is breaking down as soon as they're out of warranty. At Atlantic Coast Appliance, we can't help with the first two, but we've got the third one covered. Our factory-trained and certified technicians have been repairing appliances for more than 35 years, with a 90-day warranty on parts and labor and a 100% satisfaction guarantee. For quality repair at a price that's fair, trust Atlantic Coast Appliance. AtlanticCoastAppliance.com. That's AtlanticCoastAppliance.com.
Hey, does your car still only play CDs? No Bluetooth? No CarPlay? You got an old car, my friend. You know what's better than an old car? A less old car. Get a car or truck that's new to you with a great used car loan from 1-to-1 Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Get pre-approved for a loan and shop at any dealership in town. Get a low rate and get rid of that old car today. Apply online at 1to1fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Donato's Pizza is proud to support the Florida State Seminoles. When it comes to pizza for game time, we can suit any taste. From 100 pepperonis on a large loaded edge-to-edge on smoked provolone and Romano, to our delicious and healthy cauliflower crust tomato bruschetta with plant-based sausage, to mariachi chicken, to the founder's favorite, and more. We offer a convenient pickup window or prompt delivery. Just give Donato's a try. That's all we ask. Order at 904donatos.com or call 904-DONATOS on your phone.
Back to school also means back to Friday Night Football. Get to the game in style in a new Honda from Honda of the Avenues. Their incredible summer clearance event is going on now to make room for the new 2021 models. Find great deals and haul the whole team in a new Odyssey, Pilot, or CRV. Plus, Hondas are safe and reliable, just what you and your team need. Don't miss kickoff. Stop by the Honda Giant on Phillips Highway just a few yards south of the Avenues to see all their inventory, or start looking right now at HondaoftheAvenues.com.
If you're usually listening to ESPN690 in your car, but your boss has you working from home this week, well, take us with you. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from ESPN690 and Action Sports Jax. Tell Amazon Echo or Google Home, play ESPN690, and enjoy all that sweet listening coverage.
It's like a saying my mom used to say, it must be maple syrup because butter don't drizzle like that.
Okay, so explain.
Oh, I gotta find this thing. Okay, 1 second.
That's Gronkowski, right?
Yeah.
And we heard it yesterday. We're like, what does that mean?
Yeah, I took it upon myself. I had to finally figure out what he was talking about. In 1 second.
You had it, and then you were just looking up a bowler dude. Well, we have that. Let's get South Beach Gary on real quick. I had a thought on some of the teams that have rebounded to do well, and maybe his Miami Dolphins might be in there. What's up, man?
Obviously, I got to go with the Dolphins with the two generations starting on Sunday. My question for you guys quickly is 3 or 4 touchdown passes for Tua on Sunday?
14.
I'm going to go with a modest 1.
What? Come on.
Don't
get that the first straw.
No, that Gaskin. Hey, don't sleep on Gaskin now. You kidding me? Like, they're going to run the ball, too, as well. That's how you beat the Rams.
I want him to light up the scoreboard, baby. I want the new Marine Air to begin.
We're showing
Have a
that
good
game.
weekend, guys.
We're showing that game on Fox 30 just for you, South Beach, Gary. You can see that one. By the way, it will be Steelers-Ravens. I've been getting a ton of questions on that, which shows you how many Steelers fans there are around here.
It's a lot of them.
And we will be showing that game on CBS 47. What you got? What's it mean?
So, Stuart, you want to play the quote one more time? I'm putting you on the spot, I know, but let's see if you can adapt.
It's like a saying my mom used to say, it must be maple syrup because butter don't drizzle like that.
I'll tell you right now, Snell's not coming out, Brent. We're in game 6. That guy's not coming out. Anyways, so check this out. Apparently, the story goes like this. That quote originated from this original quote from Rob Gronkowski. And I quote, it's like a saying my mom used to say. It must be maple syrup because butter don't drizzle like that. You don't got much time to react and syrup drizzles. You got to make that play. A stick of butter. It's a block. You got to put it in the microwave to melt it. That just takes too long. You got to make the play the right way, baby. That's why I'm like the maple syrup. That's why she always used to say that, because I'm quick with it. I just drizzle all over the place.
Can definitely picture him saying that.
Yes.
In the voice, you could kind of hear it leaking
You
out
almost
of
have
the
to
script.
have him just say that.
I know. It doesn't,
All right. I had a question, okay? All this talk about Snell and analytics in Tampa this week.
Yeah.
And baseball is filled with analytics, right? And there was this wave that the NFL was going to be filled with analytics. And I think there are some shifts to it. I thought the Jaguars might be near the front lines of that with Tony Khan if you go back some 5 years ago. Honestly, I feel like I know a good amount about the Jags.
Yeah.
I don't know how much they use him. I don't. I think we assume because Tony Khan is in that kind of business and has his own business, I think, with it, and that he was in the building and he's been a part of the organization in some different kind of roles, it feels like, at times over these handful of years, that they use a ton of them. Yet, I don't get the sense that they really do. What do you think? Do they?
Just go ahead and thank me right now because I actually have a list of teams that use the most analytics.
Okay.
You want to take a guess?
Where they're at?
Oh, where the Jaguars? Yeah, I mean, who do you think is number one? I think I was talking about number one before.
I think we've seen this before.
Yeah, I talked about it.
The Titans don't use any. They don't even have an analytical guy.
I'll tell you right now, the Titans are not in the top 18.
I think the Jaguars are around like 12 or 13 or something.
Very
on this
nice. 14.
14, okay.
Yep. They have, it's broken down by, I guess, specialists. Criteria is which teams are among the top 5 most analytically advanced in terms of how many, guys they have working for them in terms of analytics. This team right here, so for instance, the Jaguars, they have 3 specialists, that are specialized in analytics and get the information.
Yeah.
This team in first place has 23.
It's not Baltimore, is it?
It is.
It is Baltimore.
Which is isn't that kind of crazy with Harbaugh?
So that's a great illustration. Where's Kansas City on there? Read me the top 5, actually.
Baltimore.
Good.
Cleveland.
Well, good this year.
Eagles.
They've won the Super Bowl in the last 3 years.
Bills.
They're getting better.
49ers.
They've been good.
Vikings. Seahawks.
They've been good.
And then now we're in 8th territory. So Colts, Rams, Patriots.
This was my thought a little bit. The Jags have tried a lot of things that haven't worked well.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my thoughts the last couple of weeks, and I brought this up on the show, is I don't know if you always understand who is actually running the show, right?
Yeah.
Outside of Tom Coughlin's brief tenure, where you knew he was, especially in 17 and 18, I don't know if you can pinpoint who's making decisions, how much Tony Khan's involved, and other things. Why don't the Jags wrap their arms around their analytics department and use more like the Tampa approach to be like, I'm all in on this stuff?
So this is interesting, though. So guess who the top 5 least analytically advanced teams are in the NFL right now? Redskins, number 1. Okay, well, they're bad. Titans, number 2. Bengals, number 3. Giants, number 4. Pittsburgh Steelers, number 5. And you know where the Chiefs are at? Right after them at 6.
Okay, so it's not and this is good because
Saints are, and by the way, the Saints, they're tied for 6 as well.
Here's when we've gone over this, how do the Jags get better, right? One of the things I believe the Jags need to do to get better as a franchise and how to turn this and flip it is to take a chance and to be ahead of the curve instead of trying to catch up with the curve. And they've been trying to catch up forever, and they haven't been able to get ahead. I feel like even sometimes when they focused on defense, the league was going offense. They tried to make this great defense in an era where everybody's scoring more points, which is harder to play defense and win with defense. That's just a small sample. I seriously looked at Tampa this week, and I'm like, wait a minute. This is a team that has no money. And Jags aren't in this category where they can't afford players and all that stuff. But it's like they have reinvented themselves. Now, Houston did it first. Oakland has done it with Moneyball, but Houston took it to a new level, so much so that the St. Louis Cardinals try to steal their computers. Yeah. And Tampa now is all in and seems to be ahead of even Houston and everybody else. And listen, there's a living and dying by that too much. I get it. But I just it made me think of the Jags. They've had so much futility. They have somebody who owns an analytic business in their organization. And I don't even know if they use them. Like, I can't feel it. I don't know if we should be able to feel that. But I don't feel that they use them. I feel like Tony was kind of pushed out doing other things, whether it's soccer or wrestling now, and Tom Coughlin was saying, hey, we're going old school.
But don't you kind of feel it when they go for 2 points? Don't you kind of feel it when they go for it on fourth down?
That's a league-wide thing, I believe. I feel like that's a league-wide thing. Okay. More so than it is this commitment to analytics. I'll try to get a little more information on it, but I just found that interesting this week with the World Series and Tampa. Yeah. All right, we got to go. Live Local Loud coming up next, and we'll be on TV at 7 o'clock with Jaguars All Access on Fox 30. Back at it tomorrow on ESPN 690.
These days,